Good evening, everyone, and welcome. We are Random Encounter Productions. I'm Cody Stone. With me tonight, starting at the top. We'll start at the top and work our way down. Let's introduce our players and who we're playing.
Hello, everyone. My name is Megan, and tonight I will be playing Kenzie Wild, the Human Gunslinger.
And I am Matthew, and I will be playing Pevnost Umber, the Earth Genasi Barbarian Wizard.
And I'm Caitlin, and I'm playing Rixa. She has no last name because I am not that extra. She is a Tiefling Bard Sorcerer Multiclass.
And I am Keith, and I'm playing Dosren, the Fallen Dreamer, the Sorcerer.
Very cool. Very, very cool. So, welcome, guys. If it is your first time hanging out with us, welcome. We play D&D. We play a whole bunch of other RPGs and stuff all week long. Right now, one of our shows on Wednesday nights is on hiatus, so we're doing a bunch of one-shots and some other things on those shows. Yep, lost Keith. That brings us to point number 2. So we're utilizing the Roll20 tabletop, virtual tabletop, which we are broadcasting to you guys from. It is new to us, and so we will probably have some technical hiccups, like hopefully not players disappearing in the future, but maybe we can at least keep the audio. We're running that through Discord, so if we run into any, if we run into any technical troubles, please bear with us, forgive us, and be kind and gentle. On Monday nights, we do have our main game. It's Disasters in Danger. It's a multi-year game that's recently gone through a relaunch in February, so it's a perfect time to jump in on that. We're also running a midnight campaign setting, which is a dark fantasy setting. We've been doing some Dragon Age using the AD system. We've been running Stormlord's Wrath and Storm King's Thunder. So there's a lot of fun games and content and all the stuff on here. So please check those out when you get the chance. So tonight we're gonna be diving into the world of Wildemount. We are all tremendous fans of the show and of the world and of Critical Role in general, and it is awesome for us to get the chance to play in that world. Normally it's not something we do when we are out of a quarantine time. We do have a studio. We like to have all the players in here, and we play in our own world and all of that sort of stuff. So but in these times of trouble, we turn our attentions to something comforting and familiar, but still different and exciting. And there's a cool rule book for it. So why not? We are going to have some guest players throughout the run of this campaign. It is a little different. If you're familiar with our normal stuff, it's a little more focused like a module. I'm going to have less moments of, where do you guys? Do you just, you want to fuck off and go to the Menagerie Coast? No.
Cool.
No Menagerie Coast.
That's actually fine. Like, railroad us a little bit. It's okay.
No, you'll have plenty of options, and your agency will be very important. But we do have sort of some goals for the game, and I want to keep the game something that I think we are here in Orlando. We're all Orlando locals. So for us, we're looking at least 5 to 6 weeks.
Would you say we are Orlando Calrissians?
No one should say that. No one should ever say that.
Orlando.
It is an official possible name for people who are residents of Orlando. Check the Wikipedia.
Ooh.
Is it because you just put it in there? Okay, just because something's on the internet doesn't mean it's true.
I mean,
Listen, y'all are running out of wake time, okay? Matthew has bets that it's gonna be 45 minutes before I rip this thing off my head.
Yeah.
Put in your bets and don't waste my time with your puns.
Billy
Yes.
D
I-
is not my girl.
Oh, so when Star Wars Week was a fan celebration came here a couple of years ago, they had an Orlando shirt with Orlando Calrissian stomping through the R, so it read Orlando. Yeah, so
I have it.
you do have it. I was gonna ask. I wasn't sure if you still had it. So.
And
she's
now we're
going to
gonna
get it.
see it. What have you
Now we're
done?
gonna see it.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
I don't
This is
know,
your fault.
infringed on some copyright. I don't know, something like that. But so yeah, thanks for hanging out, guys. We're super excited. What I was trying to say is that with a potential limited time frame of us doing this game, a lot of our players can't. If we were doing it live in the studio, wouldn't be able to play it on a Thursday night. Wouldn't be able to make that drive. We have teachers and stuff like that. People that work early in the morning. But because we're doing the Skype call and all the video call, we can. So a little bit of a different game for us. There it is.
Okay. Amazing.
Orlando.
All right. Don't
Yep.
like it, but all right.
So
That was God for the day. Okay. What's up?
sounds good. All right, guys. Well, let's get into tonight. Let's begin this adventure, shall we?
All right.
It has been. You'll forgive my knowledge of timeline, but the Dwendalian Empire and the Kryn Dynasty have recently gone to war, with the Kryn Dynasty seizing the Ashgard Post, the sister fortress to the Rockguard Post, which is to the north. These two mighty nations have come to blows over a number of thefts and slights, and some long-term cultural differences that have begun to boil over. Recently, within the past few weeks, months, there's been an uneasy ceasefire that has held steady, brokered by a different adventuring party. And now you hear rumors of a potential peace talks being organized on ships far to the south, out in past the Menagerie Coast. In neutral territory where both Bright Queen and Dwindle can speak with each other and come to some form of agreement. It is an exceptionally tense time, especially in the city of Blade Garden. Blade Garden, for those of you that may know, is a city. It has a full population, primarily of half-orcs, orcs, and humans. The orcs being the ancestral owners, keepers of that land, when they were brought into the Empire. But it also serves as a training ground, and there's a strong presence of the righteous brand there as well. And so it is set almost in a point of a triangle between the Kryn-controlled Ashgard Keep and the Dwendalian-controlled Rockguard Keep. You guys are mercenaries. You prefer money to causes, and at least a cause, at least money can help bury your corpse when you're gone. Causes rarely do that. So, you've spent the better portion of the war serving out simple outsider missions that may not be appropriate for official military personnel or missions that manpower just proves to be too thin to do. Some of it within the Dwendalian Empire, running arms to and from Blade Garden to Hupperduke, information to Zadash, some scouting trips across the Broken Vale Bluffs into the Broken Vale Marsh, and perhaps into the City of Beasts before. Are any of you specifically from Xhorhas, from the Xhorhasian Waste, or the side of the Ash Peak Mountain? You would probably be more of a monstrous race, if you were. And I'm going to migrate us at the moment over here. No, I said migrate. Awesome. So you guys should be able to see now sort of the map of Xhorhas right there coming out of the book. I tried for the love of all that was holy to upload the full map of, and it's 7 megabytes, and Roll20 just stoutly said no.
Just shat itself and said absolutely not.
How dare it?
Yeah, absolutely not. But what we do get to see here is, so here's Blade Garden. You can kind of see me clicking over here, right? Ashguard Garrison, Rockguard Garrison. I called them keeps. I'm sorry. I know, I am the worst. Asarius is the City of Beasts. Erzin up here, I think, is Xhorhas capital. Pretty sure. Or Rosanna. I don't know. We'll figure that part out. But you guys can see sort of the eastern portion of the Marrow Fields here, of the Marrow Valley, and get an idea where you guys are working out of. The current inn that you are staying in is known as the Broken Hilt. It is a hangout for soldiers, for operatives, for all sorts of hardy, rough and tumble sort of people. And it's been a place that you've been able to get some business in before. It is, I'm going to say, mid-evening, probably 8:30, coming up on 9. You guys have had your meals. You're sitting around a large, high-top sort of table divided by axes that are sort of just chopped into it pretty sturdily. And the food here is serviceable. It's not terribly good, but the ale is strong and cheap, and does the job. Would you guys give me a moment and introduce yourselves to the viewers at home and tell us a little bit about what your character looks like and kind of who you are? Start at the top.
Yeah. So Kenzie she's a human girl. She's a sort of the brighter side of 30, and she's got longish, straight brown hair. A very simple brown leather duster that she always wears. It's always rolled up to her elbows. She wears kind of, you would say, traditionally male clothing, but that's okay. She rocks it, tailored, looks good. Normally, she's got her rifle on her back when y'all are out hunting, but now it's up in the room. All she's got on her are her. She's always got her 2 revolvers, because can't not have them. She's got she has a long brimmed fedora that's resting on the back of her chair, and she's currently fingerless gloves, ruffling through a very familiar set of cards to y'all that are just tricked as hell.
All right, so Pevnost is a very tall, could could maybe be a distant relation to a human. He looks pretty human-esque, but there's just something about that dude that ain't quite right. And so he is an Earth Genasi. Stands like 6'3", just all muscle. He wears a pair of pants and a belt that is lined with fur, and that's about it. And then he has a very large tattoo that it starts on his back, and it is it looks like claw marks were like it looks like this tattoo resembles claw marks that reach up onto his shoulder and down his arm slightly. And normally, whenever we are out and about adventuring and hunting, he has on these very large gauntlets that you guys have seen him use to devastating effect. But at the moment, because we are at a bar and he has to use his fingers, they are just they are basically tied together and on his belt. He doesn't seem to have very much adventuring gear with him at all at the moment. Most of that's up in his room. He has a very long, full brown beard, and that has some braids in it. And then his hair is all braided into rows and then kind of tied together, and they fall down behind him in almost a braided ponytail. And that is Pevnost, I think.
Well, already with 2 out of 3, we know why Rixa travels with these people, because she is a small squish and they can all be fine. Like, I feel like she accidentally wandered into this group one day and was like, they look strong, I'm going to stay. So Rixa is a small tiefling, she's purple, with the little horns like this, and the hair that is purple like this. I closet cosplayed as her, if you can see. I got very excited. I've already been in this wig for 2 hours. My whole head itches. She is a small. I can't headbang. There's a blooper on TikTok of me accidentally shaking off my horns. She is purple in the hair and the face and the skin, but she also has these tattoos all over her body. Just kind of casually, you get the feeling it's like she has written down spells on her arms to remember them, because she's a little scatterbrained. She's glasses, like big round like this, and her hair is often pulled up by these 2 little sticks. And just to keep it out of her way, and she's dressed very simply, nothing too fancy. Like, she's tried to doll it up a little bit with like a necklace here or there, but mostly she's just wearing these just a simple gown with a little cape and the belt with spell components. But she also is forgetting to eat. She's just sitting there at the table behind her book, and you know that thing when you try to grab a straw without looking at it, you just She's doing that with her food. Her fork is just here. I'll get it eventually. It's fine. Oh, she's lost in her book, whatever she is reading next.
Docrin is a surprisingly fair-looking humanoid. He has a very long white beard, white hair, usually back in some sort of a ponytail, and has a presence that just sort of puts you at ease more often than not. He's an adventurer, but he doesn't really wear much armor. But he does have a tattoo on his chest of 3 eyes right over his heart, on his very, very fair skin. And the thing you'll probably notice most about him are his piercing cobalt blue eyes. And his smile that just sort of puts you at ease. Kind of comes off as a smartass if he talks, but generally, well, you know, just smile at you and is happy to inform you of all that he knows.
So the bar is busy, but it is a tense busy. It is a busy um, that comes with the potential of peacetime. Since the Ashgard garrison was taken, many of the soldiers that had to retreat to Blade Garden brought with them tales and stories of the dangers and devils that were commanded by the Shorhashians and the strange magics and wicked powers that they wielded against the Ashgard garrison. Those stories continue to flow even to this day. You can tell that there is an odd split between the soldiers, even in the room, and much more so about the city. Many of them have no desire to go to war or to potentially suffer the fate of their friends and allies, and recognize the true dangers that surround them. Some of them are far more hawkish, seeking retribution for the defeat at Ashgard and in a number of the skirmishes that have happened around the garrison and the bluffs and the marches since. And then there are those who have been called into service from all across the Dwendalian Empire and have yet to see battle or have yet to see a true engagement of war, and um, they claim an eagerness that those of you that have been in a scuffle or two would make you wary of traveling with them, untried and untested as they are. Not to say that they are all green. It is a dangerous area. The Broken Vale Bluffs and the Broken Vale Marsh themselves, even without enemy combatants, often house dangerous monsters and foes. You guys have made a particular friend around here. It's Quartermaster Grisk Tlach.
Bless you.
Grisk. Grisk Tlach. Tlack. Tlach. Yep. Grisk is a veteran. He has earned his position well, and he actually comes from a military family. You guys know this. You've spent many a night hanging out with Grisk. He was born not far from Blade Garden. He's lived most of his life, and he's been between Ashgard and Rockgard 100 times, if not more. But you're absolutely certain he's never stepped foot out of, I think, probably this entire pinged region. Like that's his whole life. He's been in the military his whole life. He likes it. He believes in it. He loves the Empire, but he also is very wary of individuals that want to go to war. And Grisk has made his way into the bar. He commands a bit of respect the way an old veteran does. He may not be the highest ranking guy in the room, but Grisk is the quartermaster. He is the guy that is going to get people good armor, shit armor, good blades, weapons, make adjustments. So plenty of recruits have fallen prey to getting on Grisk's bad side, only to be embarrassed when the ass of their scale mail falls off because they can't strap it on properly.
That is a visual, and I'm here for it, sir.
That's amazing.
So Grisk spots you guys from across the bar. He's gonna kind of wave at you, and he'll go to the bar and grab a horn and come and sit and join you guys. How goes it? Ah,
I
are
mean,
they serving the day-old meat again?
yeah, it's not nearly as good as my mom's was, but it'll be fine. This drink here though is pretty good. Strong.
Well, that is what we come for. I suppose the food is only secondary.
Food is nourishment. The drink is always the main attraction.
Well, nourish the body and nourish the soul, right? And he'll sort of offer a little cheers. And Griska's never been a person to. It doesn't seem like a person to get drunk. He's always been a very paced drinker, but you do notice he sort of finishes this one in, if not one big draw, maybe he'll stop halfway through, and be like, I haven't done that in a while, and then go back to it.
Everything all right there, Grisk?
Oh, yes, of course. Nothing. That's well.
All right.
Are you sure?
I'm come now. You know I'm shit for a liar.
Yes, you are. But, peacetime is not always the best for someone of your persuasion.
I'll tell you what. Let's get another round, and maybe afterwards we'll step out back and throw some axes. How does that sound?
All right.
I'm never one for throwing axes, but I'm always one to watch.
We'll let you keep score. How's that?
Yeah.
I can usually count fairly well.
Lord, I hope
Rick,
so.
you gonna join us in the axe throwing this time?
What?
You
There's
gonna throw some
axes?
axes? Yeah.
She looks at the book to make sure. I wasn't reading about axes. Oh, throwing axes! You mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I can, but last time, and she gestures over to the table she accidentally smashed once before. That.
Well,
They weren't
that's
here
why,
last time, love. Don't worry about it.
and that's why we're gonna go out back this time, not
Okay.
inside, outside.
Okay, good, because I'm still paying double for my drinks to make up for that.
Yeah.
While that conversation's happening,
Mm-hmm.
Kenzie has gone to the bar,
Mm-hmm.
spoken with the bartender, made it very clear that this one's on Grisk. He said this whole next round, and so I'm gonna need 4 beers and 5 shots of whiskey.
All right. Well, if Risk wants it, we'll give it to Risk, of course. And he sets about lining them up. And
The first shot that hits the table she's doing, and hey, thank you. Just like this, like small children. She will. Worst waitress ever.
all right. So you collect up your liquor babies and take them back to the table.
Yep. Liquor babies.
You spend a few more minutes drinking with Grisk, and he is he doesn't really slow down. He doesn't seem affected by it by any means, but he also doesn't seem terribly affected by it.
All right.
So you guys go outside. You grab a handful of axes that are balanced or not for throwing, and there are some crates out back that often serve as different targets, and they've all got these crude sort of score markings on them. People play like a 201 sort of dart game out here on the massive tree trunks and crates and things like that. And Krisk begins setting out, chucking a few of them. And as he does, he begins to sort of unload what is what weighs on him. You know, since this ceasefire had started, I was able to get a few other things coming in from Xhorhas. Mostly smuggler movements, things like that, but still useful pieces. I had a delivery scheduled to come in from down south, some more magically oriented goods coming out of the ruins of Draconia, maybe up through Charis. But I lost contact with my smuggler a few days ago. It happens. Sometimes they show up, sometimes they don't. I'm out the money. It's smuggling. What can you do? But, and this morning, I'm in a briefing. I'm listening to the general and Starosta go back and forth about this report that they've received. Some sort of spy that they had set in Asarius, City of Beasts. So there's a rumor about some Dwendalian war engine leveling all the towns, the villages, the hosts of Yggdrasil. You know how they are. They bicker, they fight. They're like an old married couple. One blames the military, one blames the Cerberus Assembly. They yell back and forth for a while.
Of course. And, it's usually not the military. It's more often the politicians.
Right. At least that's my experience. But either way, they're both at each other about it ruining these peace talks. I'm all for them, personally. Might slow down business for you guys, or hell, maybe you can work more for the Xhorhasians. Guess they pay. But big issue is, right now we don't know what's down there. We might get blamed for something that we had no part in. Who knows? Maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's just an excuse, right? If you don't really want to enter into a peace agreement with people, you burn down one of your own villages and call it a day. Wouldn't put it past them. Still.
But you have reason to believe they're not doing that.
They might have. I genuinely don't know. Not terribly fond, and I make no bones about that. But I lost my shipment down there, too.
Krisk, what can we do to help?
Well, officially, I can't hire you to do anything.
I understand.
That would be terrible. But
that would be just the worst faux pas. But if someone were to provide aid to the situation that you were dealing with,
well, sure.
How much would you pay us?
Well, there's that missing shipment. We can talk about a finder's fee on that for what you get.
That would be helpful. For you, of course.
Of course. And you have to understand, if you keep this peace talk going, somebody's going to pay for that.
Well, I mean, if peace has its price.
It always does. Usually it's eternal vigilance.
Yes, and the assembly is one to, do what best benefits them.
Now, if there is something that is a dangerous weapon down there, you
And if we
find a
can-
lot more buyers.
Well, and it depends. To keep peace going, they may be willing to bury something like that.
Yeah.
They'd pay a lot more to. You can only war profiteer for so long. Even the big countries, they're going to spend more, I think, to keep this thing quiet or make sure it doesn't keep killing.
Or whoever owns it just starts the war up again and wins.
Yes, but I don't like to think about that option. It makes me feel uncomfortable in my stomach places. So I'm going to pretend like I know.
Of course.
She sees the eye rolls and she knows, but she's squishy.
My dear Rixa, remember, no one is more averse to the nastier things in life than I am.
Okay, Silver Spoon.
So, I commandeered a couple of horses for you guys. Makes for a better day's travel than walking.
I mean, did you commandeer a couple or like 4?
4.
All right, cool. Just want to make sure.
Yeah. 4 horses, hardy, war trained. If you can ride with any skill at all, they shouldn't buck you. But if not, well, they may stomp you to death. That's on you though. I got nothing to do with that. So I've got them in the stables, and he sort of passes over a note, and it also has on it. There are like, so you've seen these requisition forms, military sort of requisition forms, working with Grisk before, and usually if he leaves like a blank spot or two, you can kind of write in something, some basic gear or something that you need. It is limited, but it's on the order with the horses. You guys all could ask for like one, either a potion, a low level potion, or maybe a spell scroll, something that is expendable, nothing that is permanent. They're not going to give up like +1 weapons or
Sure.
anything like that.
But
And you
like
guys all
extra
have
healing
some gear.
potions, please. Like,
You could, or there are other low level potions that can also be beneficial to you guys. So
Are we talking
uncommon.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't think of anything.
Chris is gonna hang out with you guys for a few more minutes.
We
You
have
guys
axes to throw.
Yeah, you guys got axes to throw. You do sort of toss them about.
Who's throwing axes?
Oh, Rixa's gonna try. She's gonna
I
do
have
very
thrown-
badly, but she's gonna try.
Whenever you decide to throw an axe, I would like to cast guidance.
Oh, can we please do that?
Sure.
What color? I need purple dice for her, obviously. There we go. Purple. What is guidance? +4? Plus D4?
Correct, you can add a d4 to your roll.
Oh, hey, that's not bad.
So is this an attack?
Yep. Make an attack roll. It is an axe, so you can utilize strength or dexterity for throwing weapons.
So we're clear, I'm giving everyone the benefit, including Grisk.
Oh, okay.
Hey, then I have a modified 20, and she's like shocked. She's like,
Did-
look what I did!
If we are proficient in both simple and melee weapons, are we proficient in this?
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
They're just I think listed as hand axes or
Like
throwing axes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Yeah, just an 8. She's better with a gun.
Oof.
She was
Oof.
shocked that Rixa actually made the shot properly and just like
Well, she's drinking while she's throwing. She's a little
that's fair.
She's not terribly focused.
Neither is Grisk. He, with inspiration, with the guidance, it gets up to a 9. So
It's a mighty 9, really.
yeah.
Oh.
Oh no.
Boo-hoo.
I have to leave. Mom, can you pick me up? Thank you.
Your mom said you had to stay home and have an adventure.
Damn it!
You could tell me to get out, but then you wouldn't get the guidance.
That's fine.
Worth it.
I didn't need it anyway. Hey.
Well,
Shots fired.
as long as there are just shots taken.
Hey.
Y'all ever realize if we play a drinking game stream with Keith where like we do a shot every time he makes a pun like that, we would all be dead?
No.
Like that's something to think about, and we're gonna do it someday.
That's why we don't do that.
But it's going to happen someday when I hit that like day drinking phase of quarantine. I'll be like, Keith, get on Skype. Let's go. Let's roll.
Shit, how
Say some
have I been doing
puns
that
at
this
me.
whole time? Let's talk. All right, so
I am attempting to. I can do that, right? Can't I? Maybe. I think I can. Give me a. All right, I'm gonna try to do fancy things.
Ooh.
He's so fancy. You don't
You're
even
ready.
know.
Okay. So 25 feet by this thing is 250 miles. So. Oh, so it's was it? It's 400 miles
Cool.
as the crow flies. Right? No snapping. Okay. So, yeah, you guys are looking at around 400 miles as the crow flies. This measurement tool is awesome. But that does lead you past the Ashgard garrison. In fact, that's the easiest place to cross. Otherwise, you will have to be venturing into the Ashkeeper Peaks, which are dangerous in their own right.
and I'm sorry,
Now-
where are we headed?
So down here, where it says the many hosts of Yggdrasil,
Is that where we're going?
that's where you're going.
Okay, because there were a couple places that got mentioned. And I
Make
wasn't entirely sure.
yeah, you guys can make history checks on the many hosts of Yggdrasil.
Oh, hey. I'm good at that.
Hey,
Nice.
That's a 6. That's a 6. She is back in her book, and it is an adventure novel, and she is not paying attention to real history. She did her axe throw, she's gone.
Okay, so I see a 15 for Docrin, Kenzie on a 19, and Prevnos bringing it up with a 25.
It's
Wait, what?
actually
No.
23.
Oh, 23 for
I have an
Docrin.
8. I have an 18.
18. Then I
You were
don't know what
looking
I'm
at
reading.
you were looking his other
Oh,
attack from
yeah.
earlier.
Axe throws.
Yes,
Yeah.
those are axe throws.
Oh my lord, Prevnos, you won the game in like 3 axes.
He
Yeah.
like
I just
split
figured.
everyone else's axes. Like
Yeah. I apologize. I didn't acknowledge that. Yeah, Grisk is gonna pay you like 3 gold.
Are there any
hell
questions
yeah.
you'd like to axe him?
No, he's accepted you casting guidance on everyone. As long as you did it on everyone, it's fair. So he's got no problem with it. Yeah, I apologize for not saying that
All
sooner.
good.
So, saying that again, Prevnos on an 18, Brix on a 6. Kenzie, 19 is your history check.
Yes,
Awesome.
sir.
And Dokrin, what was your total?
15 plus 5, so dirty 20, pardon me.
Modified 20. Nicely done. So, yeah, my 15 and up people, you guys did very well. Rixa back in her book, as she said, I'm going to, wrong mouse. I'm going to make a slight adjustment to where I am, and so that we can get sort of a slightly better view. I'm scrolling down to the point where Urzen is just sort of at the top. I know when I move things, you guys can't always see.
Rex, are you reading those map weaver books?
I am actually. It is very fascinating. This kid.
I've only heard good things.
This kid, I don't know how he does what he does. It's a kind of magic I've been trying to figure out. Actually, it seems a little strange.
I think maybe if you finish reading the book, you might find out a little bit more. Because I heard that there's more than one in that series.
I heard that
there's a fourth one coming out.
I heard that too. I'm very excited. I'm going to go catch the author at her signing once the quarantine on her town is over and she's allowed outside again.
That'll be so much fun.
It will be exciting, yes.
I'm sure you'll be able to get some sneak peeks on some future books, maybe.
Probably. I bet we probably will. Are we done filling, babe? Are you good?
I was you guys were not filling for me. You were filling for yourselves. Y'all took off on that one on your own.
That was a self-fill.
This is it's good. Y'all get yourself a D&D party that has your back even in real life pursuits, because this is fucking mint.
So, the many hosts of Igrithid. You guys know a few things. One, it is primarily Goblinkin, orcs. Those are the big races that occupy the area. It's mostly them. There are 7 villages that make up the many hosts of Igrithid. They are small, wild villages that have entered into a conclave with each other and have formed an alliance with the Kryn dynasty. So they are subjects of the Kryn. They, I will say, Dokrin, you know that they have sent and provided soldiers for the war in and around Ashgard. So there are less able-bodied soldiers that are down there. Most of these villages are very poor and not super well. They're very wild. The villages are more in like the hunter stick huts than they would be brick houses and farms. They have a very strong warrior culture, and a variety of the different cities have different sort of races that primarily stay there. Grenade is primarily a bugbear clan. Brunboba is another village run by goblins. Aruth is home to the orc people, the Aruthuk clan. Oshinaka is a village of hobgoblin folk. Wrathfall is sort of the catch-all. It's the place where humans, dragonborn, probably some Rabbinites, as well as outcasts, drow, either from the Underdark or from the Kryn dynasty, and also slightly more monstrous people, probably minotaurs and things like that. Humanoid outsiders have put together a small village in the Iothia moorland, and it's probably mostly huts and yurts, so they are slightly further away. Dodafir village is a village of hill giants, and it's about as far south as you can really kind of be. So a lot of these hosts do. That's what each of the hosts is, sort of a different member of these 7 villages. And so, according to Grisk, his people traveled up and out of Draconia, and somewhere in the many hosts of Yggdrasil, they were destroyed. And the rumor that he's saying is that these villages that I just described to you have been. Rumor is that they have been laid waste as well. So that is disconcerting, to say the least.
So we're having to go through the garrison then.
You can. So for, can I change my? You can go through Ashgard Garrison if you think that you can talk your way past for them to give you passage. Officially, there's nothing. You can go through the Broken Vale Bluffs if you want, and then through the Waste, or you can go through in between Talonstad and the Ashgard Garrison, through those bluffs of the Ashkeeper Peaks.
I mean,
Do we know if there's anything that they need at the garrison, like fresh water, hookers, new books, anything we could bargain with?
There's nothing you would know having been in Blade Garden, because that is the fortress controlled by the enemy forces. So
just checking.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one.
Because I'm looking at my skills, going, I could maybe talk one person into it, but probably not an entire garrison.
I mean, I'm also, if it's controlled by enemies, I don't know how well we'd be able to convince them of anything.
I might be able to come up with some paperwork though that makes it sound like we have business there.
Oh, I like that.
I'm always very good at talking to people. At Rixa, I know you generally are too.
When I notice they're there, yes.
Push comes to shove, I can maybe look like one of them if I need to.
All right.
Oh yeah, I've seen you do.
Fascinating.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a fun trick.
It's really just, change the hat and the whole outfit just comes together. But
of course, I understand.
She is a woman of many hats.
I mean, if y'all think that we can get through that, then I'm more than okay following y'all's lead. But I'm sure not going to be the one talking us through anything, or really snaking through much, at least disguised, because
you stand
I'm
out.
a very
it's
specific
fine.
look.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
But I will follow y'all's lead, and if y'all want to go through the garrison, I think might as well.
what if we were doing prisoner transport?
That's true. That's true. But we'd have to have prisoners, right? Would you want me to be a prisoner? I could do that.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, but then we run the risk of you actually getting taken by like people who are in charge of prisoners. We'd lose you forever, and then not doing. It didn't work back when we were.
But like cells can't really hold me.
That is a terrifying sentence, by the way. I hate everything that just happened. I'm going to go back to my book. Never mind. Goodbye.
I mean, I'm just saying that if any of us were to get captured, I'm pretty sure that I'm one of the best ones to get captured, just because I could probably punch my way out of anything.
Pevnos, I'm not gonna lie, that might be the hottest thing I've ever heard.
Well, what can I say? Just speaking the truth like my mama always taught me to.
Okay, this dynamic is a lot. Like, I don't hate it, but I'm also pretty heading toward a Thelma and Louise situation. This other book that I read, they ran a carriage off a cliff.
So what do we want to do?
Probably do that. I think we could do that. Prison transport. Do you think y'all three could be? Because what it could be is you had to have 3 of you to keep me in check.
Because you're really dangerous.
no.
I could sell that.
Yeah.
She like pretends to be really scared of you. It's like, okay, we go. Show me.
Yeah, that could probably work.
Oh yeah, I could make a big scene and make it very clear that we've been trained to deal with you.
We don't really need a scene. We just need to get through.
Okay, I could make a line. Smaller than a scene, a paragraph and monologue. A little.
Because let's be honest, it's not a scene, it's a goddamn arms race. So
can someone get a pun counter, please? It is now Key 2, Meg 1. Let's
coming
go.
for your throne, you ginger bastard. Let's go.
The fight, it is on.
Okay, no, but really, do we want to do prisoner transport?
I would like to before we because bookworm. Before we dedicate to that, the options are go through the garrison or go around to the west.
Go around the
Long way
north or
So-
the south.
Yeah, you guys can from here, right? You can actually go
Yep.
many other ways. You can go up to the Rock Guard garrison and then down and through. That's going to take a lot longer.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can just try to cut across the Broken Vale Marsh and the bluffs. Monsters, there will be soldiers. You may have to bluff your way past them anyway, but that's that. Again, similar scenario going through the Ashkeeper Peaks. Probably the same amount of time, given that they are mountains, and they will take you longer to cross, as it will, instead of, a straight shot, is technically fewer miles, but you're going to take longer going through the mountains.
Yeah.
So it make me history checks.
Could I instead do a survival check to see time through the bluffs versus time through the mountains?
Unnatural 20.
Yes, you absolutely.
Survival for time.
Survival for time, you know?
Hmm. Well, apparently at some point the Empire retakes the Ashgard garrison. So, I don't know. I know the book only goes up through like episode 50. So, but we are playing later than that. So with that information, you guys can travel through the garrison, I believe.
All right.
Yeah, having checked the Wikipedia, which I will probably be doing throughout.
And that is totally fine, by the way.
Every detail. What the hell?
Are you
I
kidding me?
know.
I'm one of the biggest Harry Potter fans in the world, and I still have to
Sword.
look things up every now and then. Like, it's fine.
300 plus hours of content. I'm
You
not
know,
going to
what
apologize.
house are
The
you? Rex?
Empire has retaken it.
Yes. Yeah.
So as of posting, it's the Empire's.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
I imagine we're all arguing, and Kenzie just sits up, and goes, "Didn't the Empire take that back?" Like, she just knows. Like,
Oh shit! Why am I forging stuff? We don't have to do that. That's done.
but you're so good at it.
But
I am.
You're so
I'm
good.
So
It's
good at it.
their works of art.
what if I still wanted to do this
In
fun,
handcuffs?
like no, but doing this fun like undercover thing.
Well, that's what role playing is for, and the whorehouse down on the corner charges
But
very
that's
low
not-
rates for it.
But that's all right. Well, that's not okay.
Or so I've heard.
Just go play D&D with the whores.
Yes! That is what she does. That's what Rixa, she misunderstood once, went in there because someone suggested something in passing, and then she made friends, and they just, like, talk about poetry between clients.
That's called being a lesbian, sweetie.
It's cute that you think she would ever notice if anyone was hitting on her ever, so maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, she doesn't have to notice to be a
Nope.
lesbian.
She might be. I don't know.
Sitting around with half-naked women discussing poetry. That's
So you're saying Rixa just joined TikTok in the quarantine and realized, oh,
Listen, that's a real problem I'm having right now where the TikTok algorithm thinks I'm a lesbian. And I'm not, but like everyone it is suggesting to me is gay. And like I feel like I'm accidentally queerbaiting because like I look.
Your ears are
Also-
definitely bisexual.
But also,
Cody
welcome
wants me to put the trick online. Cody wants me to do it on TikTok, and I feel like it would be offensive. I don't know how.
But also,
I mean-
welcome to TikTok, where like there is a large portion of people on there that are just
I know, and I'm a
That's
huge
almost-
ally, and I love it. Like all of my For You pages, like queer, bi, black, Latina, like everybody, and I love them all. But like my algorithm is like, you a lesbian, and I'm like, but I'm
so
not.
about this garrison.
You said it. You started TikTok. That's your fault.
I know.
Okay.
I'm getting us back. I divert
Welcome
and
back.
come back.
Thank you. So 25 inches is 250 miles thereabout. That's just what I'm going to go with. So that means every inch is 10 miles. So along the road from Blade Garden, it's 60 miles. So on a horse, you guys should be able to cover 48 miles in an 8-hour day. You can make up the other, so another like half day, quarter day the following day.
Mhm.
You're going to travel slower through the marsh. It is 3 times as long to travel through the miles through the Ashkeeper Peaks as it would be, but the bluffs are basically the same as traveling through mountains. They are equally difficult to travel through, but you could be traveling through less of the bluffs, whereas going through the mountains, you're going to be hitting a fair chunk of mountain.
So it would
Right.
be smarter to go through Garrison and then go down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's start doing the smart thing and then detour into hard stupid later.
Well, smart.
absolutely.
Start really smart. It's good.
yeah.
Sounds good. The following day, you guys hit the requisition hall. You gather your horses. What are each of you requesting on your requisition line?
Healing potion.
Okay.
Potion
One
of climbing.
basic healing potion, potion of
Please.
climbing.
I'd like a bottled breath potion, please.
Okay. Bottled breath potion.
I suppose I'll take a potion of healing.
Okay. And a potion of healing. Those things are begrudgingly offered up to you guys, and you guys are able to set out. You guys have a discretionary fund. You've got at least 1,000 gold pieces between you to purchase rations and things like that. So we're going to assume that you are well stocked, at least for the travel there and the travel back. and if that starts to go out of your normal time frame, we will make some rolls for foraging or something along those lines.
Yeah.
Cool.
But this first day's travel is not bad. And actually, you do Grisk a favor. You're going to haul on your horses a couple of just some packs with some basic equipment and pieces, some things that needed to get there faster rather than being like a full shipment of things. It's mostly rope, some pittons, some climbing and reinforcement gear, probably for winches and lifts, as the garrison has suffered some damage by the sounds of what it took to reclaim it once the effort to assassinate people failed. They just had to throw bodies at it. So, you guys are on the road. You do have to stop the night before you arrive. You want to set up watches?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
What order are we going in?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll go second.
I'll
she
take the
doesn't-
last one.
I'll sleep the whole night through.
And I'll
There's
take 2
4.
and 3.
Yeah, like
You
we
pussy-ass
definitely need
bitch.
4.
Wake me up before you go.
What if we just
Absolutely
leave
not.
it?
We're leaving your ass in the woods.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have a feeling they have this discussion every time. He'll like go to sleep and they're all like, but what if we just left him? But what if we just left him?
Then who would heal you?
Me, I'm a partial bard.
I don't need healing if I kill him fast enough.
Bingo boingo.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
What kind of check would you like me to make?
Perception checks, please.
Good. Natural 17 plus percept plus 1. 18.
For my 2, I've got a 24 and a 23.
Nicely done. Kenzie, are you a human or are you...
I am, but I have night goggles.
Ah, nicely done.
And adamantine armor, so you can't crit on me. What?
Well done.
I came
Amazing.
prepared this time.
Good.
She is not gonna screw this up. She's ready.
It's only taken me 5 years.
But I see you, Stone.
But
I
yeah,
see it.
she has dark vision.
All right. Prevnost.
I had a 3, and that was my disadvantage because I don't have dark vision.
Okay. Kenzie, since you are human and you do normally require 8 hours of rest, I would like you to make a Constitution save.
I would like for me to as well.
While staring at Dokrin. At the ginger.
Staring at
Yeah,
Dick Red,
that
he's being a
one.
Dick.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
No,
you're
you're not. But you gon' be. What's up?
Oh,
So you take 1 point of exhaustion.
Okay. Give me a moment, please.
it's fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Over breakfast,
Mm-hmm.
Blurry, she wants to go through the packs that we're carrying just to double check and make sure there's no false
There's no weird-
pockets or
Yeah.
anything else.
We're
Okay,
not carrying a bomb.
Yeah, make an
Yeah.
investigation check.
Fuck. Okay, it's a 16.
A 16. You search through the saddlebags that came on the horses. There is like in each of them does seem to be like a little slip for a note, although all of those are empty. It's seems to be something that's almost standard in the bags and the packs, and it's something like maybe an arcane dust or some sort of residuum or something very small could slip in there, or notes. You suspect it is mostly for communication purposes, but there is no contraband nor any materials that are larger nothing that you didn't expect to be in them as you
Cool.
guys are doing. So you guys set out for the day. You've covered Blade Garden. Was it 60 miles? Right. So
Yeah, we had like 30 some.
Oh, right,
35?
because you were early enough in the morning. You guys, within the first couple of hours, are making your way to the Ashgard garrison. They do recognize the markings on the saddlebags. There are a few guards that are at the primary gates down below who sort of wave you down and ask what. Excuse us there. What business do you all have?
Important business.
And what important business is that?
Did we say that? We're just making some deliveries.
Delivering supplies for the war effort.
That's our job.
Oh, what sort of supplies do you have?
Basic
Just-
rope and pittance.
A variety.
Some
From-
rations.
From Grisk.
Oh, from Grisk. You don't mind if we take a look, do you?
Nah.
No, go ahead.
We don't
All right.
mind. Of course, we don't know what he would think, but I'm sure probably not.
I think Grisk understands the operating procedure.
Of course.
Grisk. You'd say that Grisk understands the risk.
I wouldn't, but you did, so we're just all going to move past that. They do take a few minutes. They look through the bags. There is nothing. And when you show the horse requisition forms and that you have anything with Grisk's signature on it, you are let into the garrison. The garrison is being rebuilt. It has suffered 2 major battles. You guys can roll some history checks if you would care how those battles went down, but it's not super important to the moment or the day. Rixa on a 23. Yeah, you know that. So the Kryn had attempted to take the Ashgard garrison many times in the past, but the one time that they were successful came through the use of magic that darkened the skies. Well over 1,000 deaths. Well, I don't need that right now. That can stop. Well over 1,000 deaths were suffered at the Ashgard garrison when it fell to the Kryn dynasty, and in the effort to retake it, it cost at least as many, if not more, and multiple assaults. The siege engines, you can still see the remains of. Some of them being pieced together, the research of which is attempting to be done. You can tell that once they knew the fortress was lost, the Kryn set about destroying their own siege weaponry that they had brought into the fortress, into the garrison, rather than see it fall, it being too large and too dangerous to maneuver safely out. Your time in the garrison is brief. You guys deliver the equipment that you had promised, and then you're going to set out. There are a few questions about why you're going into Jorhas, but you're able to answer them, and Krisk's note gets you a little bit of leeway. I'm going to say you guys probably spend half a day there. You are welcome to stay the night if you want to stay in someplace safe before setting out, because into the wilds of Jorhas, you are going to be, you know that they will be dangerous.
I mean, might as well, right? Because if we're spending half a day here anyway, then that means it's pretty close to night. It's not like we're gonna really be able to travel a whole lot tonight.
Yeah, I'd rather stay here where maybe we don't have to waste exhaustion on people not taking their fair watches. Can we get the hotel?
Oh, well, I mean, I could do it if you need me to.
I mean,
We wouldn't want to inconvenience
we
you at all.
always need you to, and yet somehow you
Well,
hardly
you
ever
just have to
do.
Ask.
We
We shouldn't have to ask at this point.
I'm sorry. My apologies.
So a hotel, though, just in case, because Kenzie
Yeah.
looks tired.
There's no hotels in the garrison. We can find some beds.
Yeah, they're
we
To
can
me,
find somewhere
any
that-
bed you have to like borrow or pay that's not yours is a hotel. Like that's just
we
a
can
very
find
loose.
somewhere to post up.
okay. Sounds good. So you guys do spend the night within the garrison. You're able to get an effective long rest before setting out the next day. From the garrison, which direction would you guys like to go? Are you going to attempt to travel to Sarius and maybe find passage down this river?
Yeah, I'm
Or-
thinking.
Are you just going through the wilds the whole
So-
way?
So my thought, right, is we could come down here and get some passage through the river, or we can come across and then just follow the river down and then cut across here.
Either way, the river
Yeah.
is a good landmark for us,
yeah?
and
Yeah. Alternatively, if we really don't want to have to deal with Asarius, we can just kind of follow the outside of the mountain all the way down and go slightly up into the mountains this way and cut across there. But I think it'll be harder for us to take horses
Yep.
if we're going up slight mountains right here.
I agree.
But that would be our one way I could see of us avoiding a city, because I'm sure they have whatever crossings go straight into the city, and then we have to deal with that.
That's fair. Although I mean, we could leave the horses here if we needed to, but I worry about just like abandoning them.
And we're also supposed to be taking them to be able to give stuff to people.
Yeah.
And so abandoning the horses half a day away
Terrible
from the
idea.
garrison.
Yes, they're going to wander back. Well, I think if we want any chance of safely returning, we should probably have the horses with us.
Probably.
Maybe there's an outpost somewhere near the river that we could. I say stay close to the river. We have a better chance of running into people that maybe we could deal with, or less chance of the wilds.
Kenzie, what do you think?
I say we head to Sarius, towards Sarius, and assess the situation from there. If it turns out that it's not worth going into, then we can head down south. But either way, we're gonna have to figure out what to do with those horses,
Yeah, I mean, if
because they're either going through that mountain, that little bit of mountain by the edge of the river, or we're
going through Asarius.
Through Asarius and
or we're Oregon trailing this shit.
Yeah.
Would you like to ford the river? Would you like to swim? Would you like to? Yeah.
Would I like to end the game right now? Yeah. So that's what that is. You want to ford the river with your?
Yeah.
You can't. Sorry.
I mean,
So that's what I was saying. Asarius and then a regroup.
yeah, we can. That sounds like a good idea. We can head towards the west side of that little bridge there.
So along the
Man.
blood walk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That feels like a good place for us to be.
that doesn't
Amazing.
sound ominous at all.
Good.
No, it sounds good, y'all.
Great.
Okay. That does sound good. Here is what I would like to do, guys. I'd like to take a 10-minute break.
All right.
So we're gonna take 10. We're gonna come back. We're planning on playing till about 11, maybe 11:30. Hopefully we'll see. Not. But we are going to take a quick 10-minute break. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. If you have any questions or thoughts, follow us on the social medias, and we will get to all of those things. We will see you guys in 10 minutes, so about 9:15, slightly after. But until then, stay tuned. Good evening and welcome back, everybody. We are Random Encounter Productions. I'm Cody Stone. With me tonight, we have
Megan playing Kenzie Wild, the human gunslinger.
up next, Matthew.
Matthew!
You're muted, motherfucker.
We can't hear you.
So this is Matthew. He's playing Pevnost Umber,
Like,
the barbarian.
Nope. Okay.
We're going to skip Matthew for now. We'll come
figure that
back when he suddenly is able to talk again.
I hear a thing. No. Okay. I'm Caitlin. I'm playing Rixa, the tiefling sorcerer bard.
And I'm Keith. I'm playing Dosrin Fallen Dreamer, the sorcerer, who is a self-entitled kind of jerk. And this...
Hey, Krista, how you doing?
Can you hear them at all?
I can hear Cody.
Okay, good.
Good. Welcome. Nice to see you. Hello. Hello. Krista's a longtime friend of the family and the channel. And we should play with us in our home game.
Yeah.
So, yes.
That's fine.
Hello. Thank you. Matthew.
Can you guys hear me?
Now we
can.
can hear
Jesus
you.
Christ.
Unfortunately.
My computer was freaking out and I didn't hear anything from you guys. And then I like moved back to this tab and then all of a sudden it was just like a bunch of movement, some cutting out in and out sound, and was like, wait, have they been talking? Oh no. I'm Matthew and I'm playing Pevnost Umber, the barbarian wizard.
Awesome.
Genasi.
Oh, never mind. I'm good.
I did not. All right. Sounds good. Let's get into it. So you guys are setting out from the Ashgard garrison. Your ultimate goal, for those of you just joining us, is to research the disappearance of the villages within the many hosts of Yggdrathid and the Lothia Moorlands. To get there, you guys have decided to march along the Blood Walk and potentially cross over into Asarius. So just, you guys do have horses, and as we have been measuring the distance traveled, so you can travel 4.8 inches in a day. That, as we believe, we've settled on being 10
if
times.
I had a nickel.
Yeah. Wait, what? So your first day's travel, there is a road. So even through the Broken Veil Marsh, the Blood Walk, I'm going to say, is an effective road. Otherwise, traveling through the marsh off the road becomes much harder. So you guys are able to make the first day's travel outside of the Ashgard garrison with relative ease. I would like one of you guys to make me a survival check. If two of you are proficient, you can assist each other. So
I have a 3.
I mean, technically, I'm half proficient in everything because bard,
that's
but
right, but
I'm
that's
not proficient. Like there's a bubble. It says half proficiency.
I am
Right.
I am
Weird.
proficient in it and have a 4. So if y'all want, I can do it.
I think you are it, my friend.
Oh god. All right, here goes nothing. A 12.
I can also give you guidance.
Sure. Go
See,
for it.
look, that's the wrong character. How do I Russian? Look how we didn't have to ask for guidance, but we have to ask you to take a watch at night. You see the
I'm
discrepancy
going
here?
to do watches now. It's such a big issue.
I mean, economy is also, that's 16.
Traveling along the road, traveling along the Blood Walk, You can tell it's been pretty well traveled recently. You can tell that there are scouts, both from the Ashguard and from Asarius, that are, well, nominally, the dynasty and the empire are in a ceasefire. There are many soldiers that are serving as scouting efforts, reporting positions of enemies throughout this entire area. It is a dangerous bit of travel that you guys have sort of stumbled into. You set your watches for the first night, and
I'll take the first watch.
How very magnanimous of you. I will take the second watch to make sure he was still awake at the end of his watch.
all right, roll them up.
Perception,
Yes, please.
9.
Okay. So, with 2 9s, a 16, and a 17, your night passes seemingly without incident. It is swampy, bug-filled, gross, but nothing more than perhaps scaring away some small wildlife that has come to scavenge at your packs. Seems to happen throughout the.
Good. Seems. That's the word we like. That instills us with a sense of confidence and comfort.
You guys rise in the next morning. Any specific preparations you'd like to make before heading out?
Yes, I cast mage armor on myself. Because I know the moment I forget to say it in the morning, that's the time we get attacked, and I don't have time.
I'm gonna take an hour in the morning to look over my gauntlets, because they are etched in magical runes, and so I prepare my spells.
Okay.
Kenzie, just make sure her gun is loaded. All 3 of them.
Okay. Loaded and prepared. Dokrin, anything special?
Just, take a look at everything around us, see if there's anything interesting.
Make an investigation check.
That's another... Oh, that's a 10. Pardon me.
10. With a 10, you look around for some herbs that can potentially be used as spellcasting components or for herbalism or alchemy purposes. There's nothing really here near the road. Looks like it's mostly been picked over by people that have been traveling through the area. You gather up your horses and you guys set about your day. I would like you all to make an intelligence check.
So just intelligence, no proficiency?
Just intelligence.
Okay.
See, Rick's on an 18, Pevnos on a 19, Kenzie on a 14.
The mightiest of 9s.
The mightiest of 9s. So, the 3 of you in double digits, you guys piece together, you are now well within Kryn Dynasty territory. And your saddlebags and your saddles.
They have Dwendalian Empire stuff on them.
Yes, they do.
We need to fix that.
Yes, we do.
I have a disguise kit. Instead
Okay.
of using it on us, can I use it on the bags and saddles?
Nice.
If you have spare clothes, what you can do is like sew over the emblems. So the emblems are embossed in the leather, right? The disguise kit usually has things like makeup, so that you can do stage makeup and modeling, mustaches, beards, wigs, things like that. That stuff wouldn't necessarily help you with these leather saddles. But what you can do is try to cover them with like some cloth sewn on there, something like that. It's not the best of disguise, and if anybody checks it, it will fail you.
Which
Like,
I mean,
they just won't. But
we're about to be heading into a city, so I'm sure they would see this and inspect it and probably catch us.
Can I please use prestidigitation? Because you can make a color, a small mark, or a symbol appear on an object or a surface for 1 hour. So if we are able to like cover with fabric the actual symbols, and I can like put the sign of the dynasty on them instead, I'll have to keep redoing it every hour, but like we can at least, it'll buy us a little bit.
sure, that's yeah.
Okay.
If I'll allow that.
Thank you. I'll do that on all of the fabric, all the disguise things that Kenzie did.
I'm pretty good with a needle, and by needle and thread I mean my magic gloves, and I can cast mending on the cloth, and maybe it'll affix itself a little bit better to the metal or to the leather to maybe help try and make the disguise look a little bit better.
I mean,
that is a stretch of the mending
I know it
spell.
is.
I like it.
That is a reach, my friend.
What can I say?
Can I, with my forgery kit, try to... I don't even want to make us look like we're Kryn at this point. I just want to make it go away. Or put a different, like, watermark on it over...
Get the idea. Yeah, you can roll a dexterity-based forgery check if you would like.
Also, while she's doing that, because I'm dumb, does my bard class levels, which gives me proficiency in light armor, overpower the sorcerer's not being proficient in armor thing?
It depends on what you get from a bard, specifically at multi-classing.
It now says I have light armor proficiency on my sheet.
Then you could wear light armor. Yes.
Then I would like to go back, and instead of casting mage armor on myself, I'd like to say that I have bought studded leather armor, please. Because I am so used to just straight sorcering now that I didn't realize that I could do that. Is that okay, by the way?
Sure.
Thank you. I appreciate you. And I will unlearn mage armor and do something else.
I mean, mage armor is still slightly better armor. It's a +1 for you, but that's fine.
Oh.
Kenzie, 14?
No, that was my intelligence. It's an 11 for my forgery.
11 on your forgery.
See, because here's my concern.
Guidance?
Here's my concern. If we magic over this and we walk through those gates and they unmagic us, that's gone.
That's very true. That's good.
And if I thought we were spies, the first thing I'd do is give us a magical washdown.
True. Is all of the stuff that we were given by Grisk in these saddlebags, or can we ditch them?
So the gear. Oh, you're asking if you can get rid of the saddlebags altogether?
Yeah.
Correct.
Well, you tell me. How much stuff are you guys carrying? If it's enough that you can just fit it in your own backpack, you do not necessarily have to keep the saddlebags. So Kenzie, Dokrin, yes, you can roll guidance on the forgery check.
It's a 6?
4, D4.
3.
So on a 14, you get some of your... So forgery is usually a lot of paper things, but you get your inks out, you get your papers, you kind of mess up the Dwendalian Imperial symbol, and you just sort of make it into what you're going to call as your own symbol, and you get the feeling you're going to try to pass it off like maybe you stole the horses from Imperials or something like that. It's still a little bit of a tough sell because they are all uniform, so they do look kind of like they were given to you, but you've
We're just really
graffitied
good
them.
thieves.
Yeah,
We're
you've
really good
graffitied them
thieves.
up. So they at least look very unofficial, and sort of
Also-
old and
Just like a dumb question. Are these leather saddlebags or cloth saddlebags?
leather.
Leather. Oh, just making sure. So they're cloth, so just turn them inside out.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah,
This cloth
just
would be
I
legit.
just wanted to make sure. I wanted to double check that. Like, yeah, cool. But we
Did-
can say we're really good thieves.
Did we rations for breakfast, or have we gone hunting? Did we get fresh game?
As far as so far, you guys have been eating rations.
Rations.
Okay.
Wow.
Did you want to go hunt?
Kenzie's going to take out her hatchet and cut her hand open real quick and run over to everybody and just start going spirit fingers, spirit fingers, spirit fingers, like over clothing, so it looks like there's blood flecks.
It's
And
a good
then-
idea.
And then she'll put it back just for good measure. She's gonna punch Dockerin right in the face. So hopefully he'll get a nice shiner.
I like this
Gonna
part of the
just
plan.
accept it.
Yeah,
Okay.
There you
All
are.
that attack.
it looks good.
Please, God, let me crit on this man. So it's the only time I do is when it's friendly fire. It's a nat 16.
Yeah, that'll not hit.
No,
What's
that's
my unarmed +3?
It's your.
So a
it's your-
19.
You
Yeah.
meet it and you beat it.
Yeah.
Yep, you take 1 point of damage. And I'm gonna take a piece of cloth and wrap up my hand. So we look like at least we've been through a little bit. So maybe we did fight Steely's horses.
Okay. Yeah. Roll. Make a disguise check, and I'll give you advantage on it. Everybody's helping you out.
Hell yeah.
Sweet baby Jesus. Okay, it's better. So is that Dex?
Sure.
Okay. That's a 21.
Okay. You guys definitely look like you have been through a fight. So
Hell yeah.
yeah, the saddlebags still kind of look. They're obviously from the Empire. How you got them, who knows? But they are. Yeah. So you guys have traveled. You've traveled 1 day outside of Ashgard, right? 4.8. Gets you kind of to the edge of the swamp. And the next day, you're going to be traveling all along the Bloodwalk, right? Going another 4.8. As you guys are traveling through this area, you do pass on the road a number of other dynasty citizens. Some soldiers, some civilians. Some of them look like Wastelander militia groups. They are clearly far more barbaric. They have light armor. These are tribes of probably the tribes of people that you had. You're going down to visit. A lot of those wilds in the south have provided soldiers and militia forces and conscripts going into the Aurora Watch. As you guys have traveled throughout the day, it's mostly without incident. You are passing some people. A couple of Aurora Watch members do eyeball you very hard. And one of them will ask at some point, which way are you guys going? Once you explain, you're headed to Sarius and then further south. or if you tell them that part, it's up to you. But at least to Asarius, they seem to accept that for the most part. The day goes by. Would you like to do any hunting along the way to continue to sell this, or would you, or are you guys just traveling for speed?
It couldn't hurt. We could also get some pelts to maybe drape on the bags and make it look like we've been roughing it a little.
Yeah, we can do a little bit of hunting.
Okay. So on day 5, go ahead and make me all survival checks. Yeah, you guys are
bad at this.
hunters. Yeah.
Holy
No.
shit.
Y'all come up with a rat, like maybe Rixen and Prevnos, like maybe catch a prairie dog at some point, but you probably splatter it from.
But you know what? It was not for
killing it.
eating. We can just put the bloody
Listen, you gotta get used to your new territory that you're hunting in. This is just our preliminary test, and then tomorrow we can.
This is our baseline.
Yeah, and then tomorrow we can really take them by force and get
Good.
all them prairie dogs, them marsh prairie dogs.
Just like dynamite in the holes. We're gonna be fine.
So that is day 5. You guys get into day 6. You take your watches. They pass mostly without incident. You guys are on a major road at this point. Yes.
Oh hell yeah! I forgot that I have a ritual that I do every night. And I set up an alarm in a 20-foot radius around our camp. So that if something comes in our camp within that 20-foot radius, I am awoken.
Okay. Sounds good. On the 6th day, you guys set out. You can travel at a normal pace and get outside of the city of Asarius, probably across that bridge, which is a waypoint. You'll have like a station check there. Or you can push on for a couple of hours and make it into the city proper. 2 things you guys do. Make me history checks.
Thank God. Thank God.
23.
All right. Prevnos and Dokrin. 2 things you guys do know is that the western part of Asarius is an Aurora Watch staging ground. Asarius is important because it is often the central hub of the Kryn dynasty's army, and usually holds at least 4,000 soldiers on the western end of it, with more during times of war. So you could expect almost double that, minus probably casualties coming out of Ashgard. So I don't know, it's up to you. That's your information.
So, probably like 8,000 soldiers in there.
Not necessarily within the city, but they stage them outside the city on the western side.
Yeah.
So the side we're
from.
approaching from.
On both of those bridges, they both end up on the west side of it anyway. So we'd have to pass through some enemy soldier encampment.
Or we go around.
Yeah, maybe we don't go into Asarius.
We can also go around through the Sorrow's Seep and like find a boat. Maybe there's someone, if we keep going down river, who like maybe has a boat we could borrow.
I mean, how do we know how wide across the Ifalon River is down here next to Asarius? Like, do we know how wide across is this that'd be quick.
10 miles.
10 miles across. We are not
Thank-
for that.
And we're not swimming. It would be very bad.
Yeah. Oh, geez, that's quite a way.
So, just so you guys know, I know that from if you scroll down on these really big squares from side to side is 250 miles. I've just averaged that. Nope, not the 1-inch square, but the map square, the big map square. So like, look at the river, right there. Boom. So like from side to side, 250 miles is 27 feet, according to this measurement.
Sure.
So I just kind of rounded it to 25. So for
Alright.
every one of the measured feet is 10 miles. So that's anywhere from 10 to 20 miles.
Yeah. Perfect.
So we're,
It's slightly less.
so we're gonna start following the river down now.
Yeah, I'd say if we ain't gonna go through Asarius here, then our best bet's probably just head on south.
And you know what?
See-
I believe in us. I think we're going to find something just around the river bend. Going to be great.
Thank you, Pocahontas.
It was my turn, okay?
Do we wanna? I'm thinking like 10 miles or so south of this bridge is when we
Mhm.
can maybe even just start walking along the bank of the river almost. And
Okay.
maybe at some point we can run into somebody that has a boat and we can
Yep.
acquisition it.
Like, we
Or
might be able to pay someone to let us borrow their fishing boat, or we can just steal it. That's
and we
fine.
can maybe just ride it south
Yep.
all the way instead of crossing.
Okay. You guys continue to travel till you get south of the bridge. Even this 20-ish miles from Asarius, about a day's travel, you can smell, as when the wind blows east to west, you can smell the wet stench of animal dung that hangs in the air. It is this thick musk of war beast dampness. Asarius is known for the breeding pits of its war beasts, and its smell pervades the entirety of the city. And when the wind blows right, it can carry for miles. So that is unfortunate. On your 6th day of travel, you guys are traveling up to the bank, about 10 miles from that bridge, as you said, and you're about to start to turn down the coast of the river. You can see a couple miles, maybe like a mile in front of you guys. There is a small, looks like a small series of tents, maybe 6 of them, set up maybe 50 feet from the river itself. You see movement. There are humanoids that are there. They seem to be going about business. You don't know that they've necessarily seen you. So what would you guys like to do?
Do any of y'all see any symbols on their tents? Like Dwendalian Empire. I mean, it won't be Dwendalian Empire symbols, but
You can make
Cool.
perception checks to see if you can spot some details.
Nat 20 for a 26.
oh hell
Nicely done.
yeah.
I am going to shift us over to this look, just for a moment.
Ooh. Oh.
So this is the city.
Shiny.
That's the city of Asarius. You can probably see those tall outcroppings off in the distance. But for a minute, I wanted to. These are the kind of tents that you're seeing. They're probably smaller, poorer than that, but just a little change in scenery. So Pevnos on the 17. What was yours, Kenzie? Natural 20?
26, yeah.
26. Nicely done. So yes, there aren't any like these are definitely not military. These look to be the tents of poor wildlanders. You make me a history check to see if you know what the symbols on their tents.
12.
12. You're not really sure, although you do suspect because the tents bear three distinct emblems,
Mhm.
right? One of them is large. You don't recognize that one. The second two that are smaller are sort of built into a pattern of it, and they seem definitely secondary in presentation and in mind of these places. And you can piece together that this group of refugees is probably from one of those villages of Igrithed. And so you're guessing village symbol first, then
Then
host, host village, or the many hosts of Igrithed, and then probably empire, right? So
okay.
orders of
Importance.
devotion, you would suspect.
Okay. I share that with the group.
Alright, so what are we thinking? Avoid them at all costs, or
Not all costs, but I don't think we have to go out of our way for them.
Are we sure they don't need help?
Are we in a position to help? It's not that I don't
mean-
think we can. I just right now I don't think we can.
I mean,
Fine.
we are. If
There's 4 of us, and how many of them?
No, I understand. There's not many of us, but yes. All right.
Look,
Carry on.
I don't like walking away from people who need help any more than you do, but right now, if the bigger issue is disappearing things and war and something big
I
happening,
understand. We have a larger mission than helping others at the moment.
well, if one of them comes up and approaches us and asks us for help, I mean, maybe we can figure something else out.
Thank
But
you.
yeah,
do
I don't really
appreciate it.
I don't really think that we need to go out of our way to try and get any
I-
more
I
jobs
understand.
at the moment.
All
All
right.
right.
You guys skirt this small shanty tent. Not even town or city or village, just outcropping along the ways. You do see that it is mostly inhabited by goblins. Looks like they are primarily doing fishing here along the river. There is you notice perhaps a temptation in their eye to eat your horses, but they don't act on it. They don't make a issue of it or chase you guys down in any way.
Oh, good.
You get the feeling they're probably hungry, but that they are, for lack of a better term, civilized goblins.
Good for them.
Going back to the map. I said going back to the map.
Oh,
Yeah. So you guys are traveling along the riverbank. You're on to day 7 now. Give me perception checks.
natural 20.
Nice.
For a 21.
Five.
9.
Modified 20.
Modified 20 and a natural 20. Okay. I am learning about the Sorrow Sweet Waters.
That is okay.
Yeah.
They're
All good
perfectly
things.
safe, and they love carrying people with horses on them, full body across the water,
Yeah, they have
Yeah.
no history of violence or disappearances or bloody murders or
and
anything.
provide boons.
Yeah,
It's just-
it's full
it's
of
It's a cruise ship. It's full of like yachts that will let us just
Yeah.
barter passage.
or
Gross, I don't wanna be on a
it's
fucking
full
cruise
of
ship.
fun mermaids who will carry us across the water at a small price of a smile and a hug.
And also, they tell us how pretty we are the entire time.
Nestled softly in their bosoms. Their
Yeah,
shelly,
obviously.
shelly bosoms.
Obviously.
Shelly hard, cold bosom.
Just how I like them. Boobies on the half shell. Oh, yeah.
Mermaid
So,
power.
Hi, Cody.
I'm sorry, I
Hi.
could not. It was right there.
the Sorrow Sweet Waters are one of the twin lakes that dominate the wastes of Jorhas. I'm just going to read this out. These dark waters are home to a curious ecosystem of swamp beasts, amphibious behemoths, moorbounders, and apocryphal creatures said to live within the lake itself. Fishers, hunters, and trappers often brave the surrounding knotted boughs and stinking mud of the marsh, which I believe is the nearby area here.
This thing.
Yeah. As do healers. The waters are said to have some restorative properties. The crisp waters of the lake branch out across the wastelands of Jorhas, feeding rivers and sustaining life throughout the scarred plain.
Cool.
So,
All right. Well,
where you guys are up near that mouth, you have seen no boat traffic come through yet, but it doesn't mean that there won't be or can't be any that do. You guys would want to continue into the marsh as you go, or
yeah.
are you going to attempt to ford the river?
Oh, no.
No, that's way too far across for us to swim with our horses.
I guess that's like fording the Mississippi.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Sounds fun.
okay. I would like all of you to roll me a percentile, please.
I don't know why I wasn't prepared. It's not a game with Cody Stone unless you are rolling percentile.
Ooh.
Exactly.
Oh.
If I got a 10 and a 1, that's an 11, right?
Yes.
I got an 11.
I want to use the second one, but I'll use the first one instead.
That's okay. We have a relatively decent spread. Which is
Mhm.
really witchable.
82, 58, 75, 11.
Yeah.
Okay. Checking something. Day 7 takes you guys right to the edge of the swamp here, right? Into these moorlands. You're getting the feeling you may end up traveling a fair bit into the swamp. looking for hunters or somebody that is going to be able to give you safe passage across the waters themselves. And as you guys are going, my apologies.
You're good.
It's okay. She sidles over to Kenzie for the 900th time and is like, so, one of these days, can you finally teach me how to shoot that thing? I promise I won't blow anything up this time.
No.
It's okay. One day I'll wear you down and you'll say yes, and it'll be exciting.
It will be that. It will be exciting.
She's like, any chance she gets, she shows you. She's like, look, I was reading about this gunslinger, and look what she could do. Can you do that trick shot? Can you do that? Like, look.
Depends. Is it one of the three I have right now? Maybe.
Yes.
I don't know what I have.
I'm gonna say yes.
Then yes.
She's always curious and excited. If she read it in a book, she wants to see one of you do it.
You gotta find you different books. Dear God. She keeps her she makes sure her copy of Tusk Love is
I was about to say. So this here, no, the girls at the place down the street kept on telling me about the books I should get, but then they were always using their copies, and they said I wasn't allowed to use those ones, and they're being repurposed for other whatever. I don't know, but I should find my own copy someday.
Maybe. I just keep reading what you're doing.
So these trick shots, right? You good?
As you guys are traveling into the waste, the horses are, you can tell, obviously spooked. Something is unsettling them.
Hard saying, Flicka, but we gotta do this shit.
Make me animal handling checks.
Oh no. That's a hard 6 for me. Yay. I'm dead. Oh
Hey.
shit. Well, he was
Yeah,
raised
pretty boy.
rich, I'm assuming. So, like, of course he can ride. He's got dressage.
21.
Like, he's doing dressage and, like, jumping things. He's fine.
So Rixa, you're doing your best to keep your horse calm and under control when something darts across its path. This large, sort of a blackened beast creature, and it rears up in a panic. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
That'd be a 12, sir.
Okay. You are bucked off of the horse. You are prone, but you do not take damage from the fall.
Thank you.
As she hits the mud, and you guys watch as her horse begins to take off running, you see leaping out of one of the low marsh bushes, some of this underbrush, those fronds, is this black, long-toothed sort of cat beast with the eyes that very much remind you of a frog. Any of you that are trained in nature? Cool. You don't know what it is then. I would like everyone to flip for initiative, please. Okay. starting at the top with...
Me!
Okay.
I was adding the
Nice.
fight music, and I drew nice.
At the fight music.
Sorry, I had
Okay.
to. It wasn't there.
You're good.
Yeah.
What's up?
Okay. Panic. So freaking the fuck out because she's just landed and she's in pain. Rixa is going to curse herself for studying religion instead of nature because that was one of my two options. And is going to cast Frostbite. Right? Yeah, I need it to please. Oh, it's not a weapon attack. Not Frostbite. Firebolt. There we go. Gonna cast Firebolt. Please and thank you.
Okay.
Make a ranged spell attack. That's very cocked. Please roll again. Thank you. 17 to hit.
Yeah, 17 does hit.
Yeah, I have a +9 to my spell attacks.
Nice.
So 17, and because it's at 2d10 right now because we're at this level. So 8 points of fire damage, please.
8 points of fire damage. Okay. Yeah, the firebolt rips from your hands. It goes streaking across the air. The black beast, you can see it bristles, and it looks like there are these long blades covering its sleek body. These sharpened sort of fur
Porcupine
bits.
frog. No, I hate everything about that.
After Rixa, Kenzie.
Yeah, let's do this. So she's pulling out wherever,
Mhm.
and we're gonna make it 1 grit point to make it a dazing shot.
Okay.
So I gotta hit you first. So give me a year. It's a 12 to hit.
It misses. Its natural fur and armor just sort of deflect the shot.
Okay, bonus action, reload, shoot again.
Well, with wherever, you should need to reload after one shot.
I mean, it's a revolver, so I don't know.
So-
Do I just get 6 and then I reload?
Yep, that's how it
Correct.
goes.
Okay, I wasn't entirely sure. Okay, so I've done 1.
You're good.
Everybody gets 1. So that was a nat 18,
That'll hit. Armor class
So
of
20
15 on these things.
27 to hit. So
Yeah.
that's 2d8 plus 4. So 15.
15 points of damage.
Yeah, and I need it to make a give me a second, I'm so sorry. A con save. DC
Okay.
15.
DC 15 on a Constitution saving. Natural 2 is going to fail.
All right, so it's a dazing shot. He has disadvantage on attacks until the end of their next turn.
Okay, sounds good. After Kenzie is...
And
Yeah, go ahead.
I would like to use my movement.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on the horse.
Mhm.
To start chasing down the other horse.
Okay. Let me see something before you chase down the other horse. Okay, so it had not grabbed the horse. It attempted to leap and bite it, but before the start of the thing, and the horse is running free. So you're chasing down the horse.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Up next is the bristled moorbounder. It is going to turn, and as Kenzie goes riding past at 60 feet, it's going to chase you down. It's actually faster than your horse with a 70-foot speed.
Does it
And
want to
so-
get ridden?
It is going
Can we
to
tame it and bring it with us?
it is going to leap and attempt to drag you off of the horse.
Okay.
So it is one with its blades, one with its claws, 2 attacks. Okay, that is the lower is a 16, the higher is a 21.
Both hits.
Both hit. Okay. So that is 12 points of damage plus 14 points of damage. 26 points of damage. It leaps up. The claws of its body sort of dig into you. Those are small and sharp, but as it sort of tries to force you off the back of the horse, you can feel all of the bristles on it start to stab into you like tiny swords and blades. I need you to make a animal handling check.
Yeah,
that
keep
way,
the horse.
Yeah, that way you don't fall off, to see if you fall off the horse.
16?
You stay on. Just barely. The horse sort of instinctively turns and begins to sort of bronco buck to kind of get this thing away, and you ride and hold on, cowgirl style.
Yeehaw!
Yeehaw, indeed.
Indeed.
Stepping out of the that is it for that. So after Monster, Dokrin.
So,
Doctrine.
Oh, fuck.
Doctrine.
My bad.
We are seeing our friends be attacked. I would like to take a. There's just one enemy that we can see.
Yes.
Then I would like to cast Magic Missile, please.
Okay. Go for it.
At a first level,
Mm-hmm.
just to do a little bit of damage. 2 damage.
So you roll. So it's 3 darts, even at first level. So that's the minimum is 6 damage.
Okay. Well, that's the first dart.
We discovered technically you only roll the d4 once and then apply it to each dart.
Okay. Well, then
But
6.
no, yeah, technically that is what it is. I don't mind. Roll the other. I prefer to roll all 3.
Yeah. Yeah, that's boring as fuck. To just
Right.
Right, like we have all these D4s. They're meant to stab and kill people. So let us roll all of them.
So that is 8 plus 1,
plus-
so 9.
1 per dart, so plus 3 for 11.
11.
Got you. Okay, so you on the horse, reins in one hand, you perform the somatic component. You call upon the arcane energies, releasing these 3 darts of force that instinctually chase down the bristled moor bounder and come thumping into its body. Rixa.
Yes. What?
It's your turn.
Are we not flipping again? I already went. I went
so-
first.
Sorry, Pevnost. I
Thank
apologize.
you. It's like, huh?
You're fine. All right. So there's still just one enemy out there.
Just one.
All right. I'm gonna start chasing after it.
Okay.
And then, can I, with the momentum from my horse running at it, because it just attacked my dear friend Kenzie, I would like to leap off of my horse and try and tackle it to the ground.
Okay. Make a acrobatics check.
All right. An 18.
18. It hits. Yes.
Perfect. Yes, they should have. I forgot about that too. They were dazed. And also, you're muted.
Oh yeah, they were dazed.
Yeah, because of dazing shot.
I apologize. Let me. So we'll call
I
that
forgot
one.
too.
We'll call those 2 attacks 1 attack, and then I can roll 2 more d20. And okay, so
I mean, they both hit.
so then they both miss.
'Cause
Oh,
the
they
second-
both. So only one of them hit. So
Okay.
you are only going to take. I'll give you the lower 12 points of damage. So you recover 14 hit points.
Thank you. I apologize. I should have been better about that.
It's all good. It happens.
Thank you.
Okay. So.
but
Bevnost.
yeah, I tackle it to the ground.
Mhm.
And I assume that is my action to grapple.
Yes. Make a strength check, please.
Is it a strength or is it a athletics?
Athletics. That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Please. Oh man. That is a 14.
13. Just
Ah,
barely. Just barely.
Fuck
Do
you, monster. All right, I grapple it and I start
Yes.
resting on it.
Good. Its blades are cutting into you, so at the start of your
Yeah.
turn, you're going to take 5 points of piercing damage.
That's
Out of the underbrush, on like further down, about 100 feet, you see popping up from the swamp a hobgoblin dressed in this like ghillie suit of marsh wear. He was super still. You would have never known that he was there, and he is going to knock this. He's got this massive longbow. It's got a huge recurve on it, and he's gonna take it at a full draw and take a shot at the creature. The first shot misses, and so he's going to reload and take his second shot. Even with the sharpshooter and everything applied, that is going to hit. And so that is 4 plus 4 plus 10, 18 is exactly the number of hit points needed. So the first, Pevnos, as you've grappled this large beast, it is almost the size of the horse. So it's a little smaller, and you just sort of came riding by, tackled it down. You hear like a whistling jet, just this, and when it hits the muck and the mud and the water nearby, it sends up a splash of water and mud and dirt, more so than you would expect from just a small arrow. And that sort of, catches your attention. You turn to see where that had come from, and as you've got this large bristled boar and sort of a bear hug, you kind of lift it up slightly higher for them instinctually, not intentionally. You hear another arrow pierce from the underneath side up through the jaw of the bristled boar, and it sort of goes limp in your arms as
Well, that went well. Still rolling up from the mud.
Hey, that was a nice shot.
Did anyone find my horse?
Still chasing horse.
okay. Yeah, you chase down the horse. Make me an animal handling check, Kenzie.
She's gonna get her whip out and start trying to crack it back in the right direction.
Sure.
Nice.
That's
No
fine.
advantage.
Sure.
Oh, Mary. Yeah, it's a 13.
It takes you a minute longer than you would like.
This is why she doesn't do this. She's a shooter, not a rustler.
Yeah, it's okay. So the horse, you do catch the horse. It just takes a little longer than
Okay.
you would like. Yeah, you start to bring them back. In the meantime, making their way over from the side is a large, but he's tall, but he's relatively lean in his muscle. He doesn't have the sort of hobgoblin, almost ogre-like bulk to him. He's very kind of strong, well-muscled, but you get the feeling he eats lean and doesn't eat when he's not hungry. He's got that sort of build.
What sort of monster is that?
Yeah, he's got that sort of build to him. His hobgoblin hair is orange and kind of long and drooping down to his shoulders, and he sort of grabs it and pulls and tucks it back and comes over. Well then, so much for that hunt.
I mean, you still killed it.
Yes, but and he kind of points out the bullet holes that are in it, and it's all right. The pelt of the blades will still serve something. I was just hoping for a cleaner kill.
Do you live around here?
I spend much of my time in these swamps, but I live south of here. What are your names?
My name is Pevnost.
Pevnost.
Yeah.
Doctrine.
Hello, sir. I'm Rixa. She holds out her hand. And what is your name? Ow.
He's I'm Urich.
Like courage. I really like that. That's a good name.
I've
It
never
sounds like
heard
a-
that before.
You need better people around you. It's a good, strong name. I really like it.
Oh. He kind of... Thank you.
You're welcome. Rixa doesn't mean anything, and it doesn't rhyme with anything, which is unfortunate because I'd really like my name to rhyme with interesting, so I could write it into a song for all my friends. One of them's that... Oh, she's back. You got my horse!
Yeah, there you go, honey. No, it's just doing what it's supposed to do. So, nice shooting.
Thank you. Brave of you to bring such delicious-looking meals through the moorland.
Well,
Which one are you talking about? The one with the gloves or the one with the blonde hair?
I mean, people have told me I am a snack, but I don't think that's what you're talking about.
I know you're just saying that to deflect. No, a legit snack.
I'm a legit snack.
I mean, it was either take them through here or try and cross 10 miles of water with them, and I don't really think that these things like to swim all that much.
Avoiding Asarius.
I mean, it just seemed awful crowded for our taste.
I have similar tastes.
It's good to know. Where
are you headed?
South of the Saraseep waters. I can't read, apparently. Matthew is incapable of reading.
My nephew is incapable of reading too.
Is he Jared? Is he 19 and he never learned how to fucking read?
As a matter of fact, yes. It's weird.
He's coming to die.
All right. Well, I can help you all across the waters if you can provide me with some sort of payment.
I mean,
What would you need?
how about this boar? That's awful good payment, right?
Well, seeing as I killed it, it's rightfully mine. So,
All right, fair enough. I can't argue on that.
appreciated.
I
Coin.
could sing you a song. I could put your name in it. I already know rhymes with courage. Could write you an anthem.
No.
Okay.
Thank you. Urge is of the swamps for a reason. So,
Oh, you don't like music. They make you live out here if you don't like music?
obviously.
I have a lot to learn about this city.
You said you take coin.
I do.
What do you spend it on out here?
Well, out here, not much. But even I have to go into the city for supplies from time to time.
All right, what's your number?
15 ahead.
What about 10? Because we are pretty good about providing for ourselves. We don't need you to protect us. We just
To
Need
be
to
fair, we did soften that boar up for you plenty before you finished it off.
Out of character, a moorbounder is like a panther with tusks.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're just
Just-
gonna keep calling it a boar.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. As
Mhm.
I wanted to make sure I had not described it in a.
Oh no, you were very clear about what it looks like. Everything to us is boar.
Got it.
True.
Everything tastes
Yeah.
like chicken, looks like boar. We can't read.
We are a very effective group at what we
Rixa
do.
is actually
but-
Rixa's actually illiterate. She's just looking at the books pretending. That's a secret shame. That's not canon. I'm kidding.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm thinking 10 ahead, maybe.
Make a persuasion check.
A 14?
Mm. 14 ahead.
12.
Deal.
All right. You got yourself a deal.
Look at you both. You're
Yeah.
so good at compromise and negotiation. This was beautiful.
12 times 8 is what?
96.
Thank you.
Oh,
4 of us.
horse
4
heads.
horses.
I mean, I can just drop my horse off right now. if we
The
if we really
fuck
want,
you
if we really want to save some money.
Listen,
I mean,
we
we
already
have-
discussed this.
We have 1,000.
That's
So,
true.
fine.
And
This
we're
is- this
and we
is
are
really
going to be
not bad.
we are going to be making some money, so this could just be a business write-off.
And to be, yeah, it's totally tax deductible. And to be fair, like, this is what the money is for.
Yeah.
Like, yes, it's a sketchy hobgoblin right now, but it was in our heads. We all thought it was going to be some, like, wizened fisherman who's like, I have a boat, it'll carry 4 people and 4 horses and me.
But to be fair, he's also a sketchy hobgoblin in a ghillie suit, so we gotta trust him.
Which means we have 2 episodes until he is an inseparable NPC.
Yes.
That's timeline. I'm setting it right now. Orange is going to be our new baby by the end of this.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to happen.
Yeah,
yeah.
so we'll give him the 96.
Okay.
I'd
leads
give
you
him an
guys-
extra 4, just
Oh.
to make it a solid 100.
That's
It
coming
makes
out of your
my
purse.
brain
Oh,
feel so
oh,
much
I know.
better.
Because
And now we know more about Dokrin.
So, you guys, he leads you for about 3 hours. And as you're getting into more of a marshy, like watery portion of the land. As you guys are traveling, are any of you proficient in herbalism?
That's not even a skill.
Herbalist
It's
kit.
a-
The
No, I
Herbalist
don't.
kit.
I just realized that I was staring. I'm like, that's not a skill. Oh,
Yeah.
then I don't have it.
Yeah, it's a tool thing, yeah.
Okay. So this is so never mind. The fact that this is a place to pick up herbs means nothing to you all, and you trample on something that is
Yes,
beautiful.
but
and-
does Urge know? Because
Courage.
he lives
doesn't-
out here.
He does. He also lives out here, so he can stop and pick flowers
It's true.
whenever he wants.
Or
I was gonna say, do we
lack me
notice
some
him?
pretty flowers?
Picking herbs.
He doesn't stop. No, he's focused on traveling. When you
Living
guys,
that Warcraft life.
yeah, he doesn't. He's already farmed everything in this area. He doesn't.
He's waiting for the respawn.
He's waiting on the respawn. Yeah, that's the only reason he's doing this run with you guys is because he's got this escort mission while it respawns. That's yeah.
He had to get rid of the exclamation point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love-
He waited and waited, and he was just finally, fuck it, I'll do it. I'll just do
That's my favorite way men treat me is I just have to get rid of the X.
it. Oh, man, he's a hobgoblin.
So, as you guys are traveling, though, he leads you to what looks like an outcropping of underbrush, and it is actually very well disguised, similar to his ghillie suit. It's got fronds and moss, and it's all sort of netted over, and he begins removing the portions of it, and on he has a large shallow raft boat, houseboat that he has put on there. It is the horses are going to be a tight fit, but he does have just sort of barely enough room. They are very large logs, and it does keep buoyancy. It has a little bit of depth to it, but not enough. You don't think he's got like a below deck that he could fit, right? Maybe a halfling, or he probably just uses it mostly for storage. But it's very wide and it's very long, and it sort of has these paddle cranks that he's got his makeshift wooden chair in, and you can see that some of them have been some of the shafts have like been broken, and he's makeshift some pieces in there so that he can kind of paddle boat this place along, right? But he doesn't jump into that just yet. He gets along the backside, and when he opens up his house door, out comes this large. You would recognize it sort of as a warg, a traditional goblin sort of dog monster. Goblins would usually be able to ride it, and he greets it. Isaacs. Yeah, I know.
Oh no, this is the NPC we'll die for. Oh crap, you gave us an animal. Oh no, Rixa wants to hug it.
I wouldn't.
Kenzie's just going to keep a hand on her.
Oh, okay. Go back to
no.
your book, sweetheart.
I gave
hug the-
Urgin an animal companion.
Hug the horse,
You
bro.
gave us,
Hug the
you
horse.
gave us an urge, though.
Yeah.
The horse betrayed me. I will not hug that horse.
Urge. He spends a moment greeting his dog, just like any master would, and the dog the warg seems very happy to see him. And he sort of brings over the moorbounder, the bladed moorbounder, which the warg immediately goes to like eat and pricks its mouth on the quills and gets mad and then like looks at Urgent and like, yeah, well, what'd you expect? It's not for you to eat. That was gonna be your friend, and look what you did. You bit your friend. I know it's not your friend now. Is it? Is it? Am I your friend?
Oh.
This is it. This is the show now. I'm done. We can all leave. This is it. What is its name?
Is it?
Isix.
Thank you. I just wanted to make sure. Thank you. I only heard part of it. Good. Isix?
Isix. Yep.
Oh my god.
That's his name.
Oh no.
All right. Isix. We have guests.
Kenzie's
Kenzie's what?
checking out the boat.
So the boat is functional. A couple of things. You make a. Are you proficient in any crafting?
Tinkerer's tools.
Make. So yeah, go ahead and make. I'll give you a tinkering check on it. Absolutely.
She ain't never seen an airboat before. Ooh, girl, 24.
Couple of things you can notice. One, the wood in the it's not made from local wood, from wood in these marshlands. He's paid probably a pretty penny to get logs this big.
96 pennies?
I mean, he probably needs all that. You get the feeling he spends all that gold to upkeep his house, right? It makes sense where his money goes, and why he has to go to Asarius to get things like wood. The paddles are tinkering creations. He doesn't seem to know. They're not mechanized in any way, but just the use of gears and cranks and the cogs that help turn, right? And you can tell he's able to kind of paddle it into the marsh. So the wheels are pretty low, but he can adjust them kind of up and down to get more or less purchase. So when it gets very thick and mucky and dirty, he can lift them up and still kind of, if he rows at the same time, they go straight one side, the other side. So
It's the James Bond car that can go from land to water.
yeah, I mean he can't really go in. He can't go inland. It can only it needs like water to kind of skim over the surface.
So it can marsh and then deeper water? That's
exactly
pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
It can marsh and he can carry it over the greater sorrow sweep.
Yeah.
And that's what he does. He begins to set out. So along your 8th day, traveling with him is not super fast, to be honest. You guys can help him paddle, but it saves you time from going all the way around and across. So you're gonna do. It's probably gonna take you another 2 days to get through all the Sorrow Sweep and the marshlands, right? Which is solid timing, to be honest. You guys have been out now for 12 days since you left Bladeguard.
Whilst we're traveling, can I ask Urge if he's heard anything about people from Yggdrathod coming up north for any reason?
We're going to find out. I don't get a lot of news, to be honest, and I do some trading with the Oshanika. It's a hobgoblin village down there. Was never part of their clan, although they've offered me a place amongst them. But the military life isn't for me anymore. I prefer my peace in the swamps. Just me and Isix and a new friend, perhaps. Soon. But other than that, I haven't done much dealings. People tend to avoid swamp folk. They're dirty. Then he'll sort of flash a smile. It's a you guys get the feeling it's a Jorhasian sort of joke. Everybody here is dirty, but they still avoid swamp folk. So he's kind of joking. And he stops once he feels pitied.
I just don't know how she laughs yet.
We're just finding our voices, okay?
Yeah, I got
him.
you.
I'm a weird robot.
Just testing some things out.
Kenzie
Now
hasn't been programmed with a laugh yet.
Boy, now I wish I'd taken that wand of smiles just for moments like this.
Oh.
He's being funny.
Please, let me stop smiling.
Listen, but like that as a fucking negotiation technique and like intimidation of I will make you keep smiling or else. Like,
It's terrifying.
I know the Joker is a D&D villain. Carry on.
As you guys are hitting the banks of the southern marshes in Sardo Sweep, right here,
Okay.
you can see that there's a lot of the marshlands actually kind of been trampled. That there are you're continuing to travel south. It looks. Make me survival checks. Okay. 17, 15, Kenzie on the net one, Rixa on an 11. So, Docrin, Pevnos, you guys notice a few things that are interesting. There are scraps of clothing and it looks like small personal belongings strewn about in different places. They're not close together. As you guys are sort of traveling from the Greater Lake into the marshlands, and it's small things people would grab in a hurry, right? You see the bag of what probably had like some fruit or dried food in it. You see like a broken slipper, sort of sandal, where the straps have snapped on them and somebody just had to abandon it rather than take the time to stop and put it on. And one of the things you see is what looks like it's sort of floating face down in the thick of the marsh is this goblin corpse. With your survival checks, I can tell you it's probably a few days old. It smells, but but mixed with the smell of the natural smell of the swamp and the bugs and things, it doesn't smell like the natural death and decay that you expect. It reminds you of seafood. There's something bitter and bile-filled as you near it. You guys are up. Would you like to get closer to it, or would you like to pass by it?
I kind of want to investigate.
Yeah, that's real weird.
Yeah, we're looking for strange and things going missing, and this feels like something on the right path.
Okay.
Carefully.
As you get closer, the boat comes up alongside it. You guys are floating on the boat in the marsh. You could reach out and touch it or pull it on board if you wanted to. It is face down. The back of the goblin is furry. It looks like it's shirtless. You can see where there's some arrow wounds poking through the back. I got shot in the front, but the arrows seem to have gone in like through the back. Just barely though. Like they don't break the fur.
Chris, I will. Can you get me a little closer?
Mm-hmm. You're right there.
I want to reach out and cast a second level Cure Wounds.
The magic leaves your fingertips and seeps into the body. Glowing light of life and energy spreads across it but fails to penetrate it. It is dead.
Just checking.
Why does it smell so weird?
There's something weird. There is something strange about this thing.
Yo, Urge, do you know anything about why this thing might smell so weird? Why it's not like just dead smelling?
He gets up and he comes over and he looks at it. He's like, oh, God, what does that smell? I've never smelled that.
Kind of smells like fish, ain't it?
Kind of.
But gross.
It's no fish I've smelled in the Sorrow Sweep. It reminds me of like crab or lobster, something with a shell.
Maybe he liked to eat really well before he died.
What?
I don't think anything around here would get that.
Does he have anything growing out of his wounds?
So the wounds don't pierce the back of his fur. They distend it, but they don't pierce it.
Okay.
Turn him over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. When you turn him over, the fur on his chest is very thin.
Yeah.
And you can see where it is bare. It sort of looks like a crab underbelly. The underbelly of a crab. Looks like
I hate that.
Looks like he's wearing he's wearing it as armor almost. But
it's growing out of him.
But it's melded into him.
Can I
Yeah.
I have a hunch. Can I make some kind of like Arcana check or something to see if maybe this is some kind of spell gone awry or if they're just like evolving weird?
Sure, go for it.
Cool. I grabbed cards like I was doing initiative for this. I
Arcana.
hope not. Yes.
I've got. Go ahead.
18.
18. So spells could do something like this. But for it to be still persistent days after this thing died and to have ingrained itself so deeply into it,
Yeah.
it is beyond the normal ken of magic. But there are like alter self spells. There are spells that could give creatures aquatic features. An advanced version may be able to give some sort of chitinous shell or armor, but the way it is now is unsettling.
So either this is some kind of very powerful spell I've never seen before to keep it going like this. Perhaps a spell gone wrong, or I turned to Urge. Have you seen any other goblin folk growing like this? Is this normal out here now? It doesn't look normal.
It's not normal. That's not normal.
Okay, good. I'm not
When-
crazy.
when we flip him over and we see the tummy,
Mhm.
she's
Yeah.
gonna take the regulator off her back, get to the front, and start scanning.
Okay, make a perception check. You can have advantage since you have the scope.
And she's putting the goggles on.
Okay.
Just in case.
Sure.
Dick. 9.
9.
Mighty.
Okay. As you scan, you look out. You don't see anything that is more than like movement in the breeze of the reeds, and nothing that is close. Nothing that is close or endangering you guys. I can tell you that.
Yeah, she's just keeping an eye out because that's fucked up.
Yeah, absolutely. As you guys look over the body, the other thing that you notice is that the arrows aren't creating the protrusions in its back. It's got sort of the certain crabs are like spiky. That's what was stretched over its fur. It doesn't look, other than that armor piece, and the armor piece only covers its chest. There are like clear straps that kind of go into its back and onto its back. And the only other thing that is odd about this goblin is when you open his mouth, his tongue is long and sort of has this like spiral mouth opening at the end of it.
Not today, Satan. Nope.
All right. The arrows. You say that they're not making the protrusion, but they are still in his front side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What? I'm gonna yank one out.
Okay. It reeks when you do.
Good.
It's
good.
yeah.
Great. Urge. Do you recognize this specific fletching?
I mean, it's he looks it over for a moment. It's not far off from the hobgoblins of Oshnaka. I mean, if I didn't know better, I'd say maybe goblin neighboring town, Brumbaba, something like that. It's goblin though, either hob or natural. Hob came first. Remember that. Hobgoblins came first.
Gotcha.
But it's of goblin make. Looks like whatever this thing was, his own kin put him down.
Yeah.
Is it possibly because he turned into a weird-ass abomination that is uncomfortable for all of us? That is what I'm thinking.
I suspect that is the exact motivation. And if not, then he must have done something really bad, because the unnatural abomination stuff feels like enough.
Yeah.
Like, no offense to any of you guys. We just met and like we're friends and all, but if you guys turn out to be unnatural abominations, I will shoot you. I want that. I would expect the same.
If I start growing that, please shoot me.
Yeah,
Gross.
Totally.
The tongue has not acted of its own accord with its little mouthpiece, has it?
Nope.
I hate you for putting those words out there into the universe. I hate you for putting that idea into our brains and our game and our safe space of escapism. You fucking monster.
Well, and I'm gonna look around to my friends and cohorts. My instinct is to chop the... Oh, Siri, go away.
Haha, she wanted to play.
My instinct is to chop or rip off this little mouthpiece tongue and toss it.
Burn it?
I'm going to vote for burn it.
I mean, yeah, but we're also on a little boat in the water.
I can burn it from afar. I have ranged fire spells. I can burn it from afar.
Yeah, but you're burning something on the water.
We got
then
a little
put itself
log.
out.
We get a No, I got this. We got a small log. We put it on, then we float it out like a Viking funeral, and then I fireball the whole thing.
I'm gonna just do I have any pointy weapons? I
Pointy
have
weapons!
Do you have to just grip and rip?
I think I might, unless one of y'all has a pointy slashy weapon, I'm gonna have to grip and rip. 'Cause
I have a hatchet.
a hatchet.
You need to calm down.
A hatchet.
I will
would be
hand
great.
you a dagger.
Yeah, literally anything, because apparently I don't have anything pointy.
Kenzie and Docrin just show up. What the fuck, man?
I don't have anything pointy or stabby or slashy.
Just gives him one of the 2 daggers that Doxrin has.
Here, take the hatchet.
All right.
Rixa goes to the other fucking end of the boat.
Yeah,
She is now not
if
doing
y'all-
this shit.
If any of y'all have squeamish stomachs, you might want to evacuate to the other side of the boat.
Here, because I love Caitlin, Izix is gonna come and comfort dog, therapy dog, lay on you.
Oh, he's the best boy!
Lay on dog.
Yeah.
I cast lay on dog.
Lay on pause.
Yes.
Puppy in a cup.
It's a warg, Caitlin. That thing is the size of one of the horses.
Yes.
Yeah.
Puppy on a boat!
I realize it's all wargs are still puppies, but let's be very clear about what is now
Just like
Beethovening on top of you.
Yes. Yeah, but I will set to the gross task of dismembering this goblin crab.
You do. The meat of the tongue is very soft, rotten and sort of tender. But what you do find is that there are tongues are usually all muscle. They have very little tendon to them because they can move in all sorts of directions. That's why tongues are powerful muscles. If you've ever cut a piece of beef or butchered something, you know those thick marbles of fat that are very difficult to cut through, that are just almost tendon in their nature, and they are extremely dense and thick. That is mostly what this tongue is. And so it is a lot of sawing, and at some point you just start hacking at it.
Gross.
Okay, but you do remove the tongue. Nicely done.
All right. Yeah. All right. So. I'm going to wrap it, and then I don't want to keep this. But also,
I don't know. We'll burn it. I'll buy a cooking fire.
all right.
Urgent doesn't want it on the boat either.
Is this the body or the tongue?
The tongue.
He doesn't want any of it on the boat.
I mean, we could just push it under the water.
It will come back for us.
That's what I'm saying.
Set it on fire!
Okay, hold on. So you said that this crab goblin had
Craboblin.
straps?
Had what?
Had straps? Like it was 2 sets of armor?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, put it in my hand, give it, I go.
No.
Yeah.
We're not.
Yes.
No,
I'm a
gonna
tiefling.
Just chuck it.
I'm not sure, I'm a tiefling. If I set it on fire in my own hand, I'll be fine.
I'm not worried about you, bitch. I'm worried about the rest of us.
That's why I said in my hand, not in the boat. I'm not gonna,
You
I'm not dumb.
boat.
Listen. Listen! What? I'm gonna be
alright,
haunted by this thing?
I'm alright just chucking it. Just chucking it as far as I can.
I feel like when the NPC is like, we're gonna set it on fire, we should maybe set it on fire. I feel like that was the voice of God trying to give us a hint.
It's not.
Okay, good, because you pushed
That
it, so I was trying to. Okay.
That I appreciate that. No, sure. Sometimes I have hints for you guys. That is purely Urgen's opinion. That's some weird
Ben.
shit, and it needs to be on fire.
Fuck it. Yeah. Then
Urge. Yeah, that's
fucking throw it.
Urge's opinion. So you chuck it. You guys push out the corpse. Having seen the weirdness, Urge is eager to get out of the swamp and sort of ask for your help in operating the paddles. Yeah. You guys press ahead and make it into the fields around the many hosts of Yggdrasil.
All right.
So we're outside of that dark green now onto the light green?
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. You guys should be right at the edge of the light green.
Perfect.
13, I believe it's 13 days now since leaving Bladeguard.
Yeah.
Yep.
You guys now have a choice of which village of the hosts of Yggdrasil you would like to visit. The one where that goblin came from, you suspect to be Broomboba.
Okay.
There are others. There's a hill giant one. There is the Outlander humanoid one. There's a Knoll one, although even Urge is like, they're fucking Knolls. Don't deal with them.
I like her.
Yep. Aruth is the orc people. He says that they're decent. Oshinaka, the hobgoblin folk, they're decent. There's also a bugbear clan, but they're bugbears. So.
Which is closest?
Tough to say. I can tell you the ones that are further away. So Wrathfall is actually more over here. So it's a decent bit away. The hill giants live probably down around these hills. The bugbears, I think, are closer to the mountains. And then the other villages are pretty evenly split.
My instinct would be first to go to those goblins in Broomboba just to clear this land of whatever nonsense they are doing. And my second instinct would be to go to those Outlander humanoids. Just because
I would like to not go to the hill giants for as long as possible.
Yeah. Same with the Knolls and the bugbears. I don't particularly want to interact with them.
But we maybe want to start with those hobgoblins.
Yeah, with the ones from Broomboba.
The regular goblins from Broomboba.
Well, also because we found their dead companion, we could maybe freak out together and bond over how like.
Yeah, we at least have an inn there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, alternatively, if they are all crab people now,
then we burn the village down and run away.
Yeah, we burn it to the ground. And then we have rid the world of some abominations that have tongue mouths. So I think that's a win in all categories.
We are doing the Lord's work. Don't know which Lord, but one of them we're doing now.
Every single one of them, even the evil ones.
Everyone is like, nope, Nope, that's not mine.
Every single one of them is like, nope, I don't like tongue mouths. So let's go towards Broom Boba.
The demon princes are somewhere sipping on their goblets of blood, like, oh, Jesus, absolutely not.
That is too much.
Too much.
You guys travel for 2 days? Day and a half, 2 days on the horses.
Is Urge coming with us, or is he going home?
No, Urge
He's going
is.
home?
Yeah, Urge is getting out of this.
All right,
If you're ever on his end of the swamp, you can come say hi. He's if you want him to meet you somewhere for the coin, he'll do it. So if you need ride back across the water, but other than that, he's gonna say goodbye.
It might be nice to look.
Maybe we can set up a thing where we'll send out some smoke signals from like.
Or I can just send him a nice message.
There you go. Message.
I don't think we can message from that far away.
Or
Well, it
sending.
depends on if you
Sending,
got
yeah, but
sending
that's
or
if we
anything.
have sending.
You guys are level
do have
7.
sending.
I
He
don't.
does,
Maybe
yeah.
later.
But we could do like smoke signals or
Yeah,
something.
we can set up.
Rix is just dying to set something on fire.
Tiefling, it's in my blood.
Well,
Yeah.
As you guys travel through the wastes, make me perception checks. Wastes. These are Greenland.
19.
19.
I'm glad somebody's paying attention. Because 19336.
Yeah. I was
She's
I was
got,
like, oh, I wonder what the other numbers are, and I looked up. Well,
Not
they don't.
good.
That's
she's
why
got
nobody cared. Yeah.
she's got regulator out. She's going crab hunting.
Crab people.
The lands of Yggdrasil are muddy grasslands. They are damp. They're wet. They produce good vegetation, although most of the people here aren't farmers. There are some natural bushes of wild berries and things along those lines. Other than some bird, and I mean primarily high-flying scavenger, you guys don't see much wildlife, much of any kind. And the place should have something. And it's is that information make you want to stop and do anything, or do you want to press ahead?
I am sharing with the group
Where?
very quietly.
This is not just in this local area. This has been now for hours of your travel.
Yeah. I don't like that. I don't really have anything I can do about it. I can make us a little bit sneakier, cause my natural in-tuned nature with the ground, but 'cause I'm of the earth descent of the Genasi, so. But that's about all I can do. So I don't know, but that freaks me out.
That ain't natural.
No, no, it ain't. Valkyrin, Rixa, what do y'all think? Do we? Cause I mean, like, I guess we just keep on keeping on, cause ain't nothing else we can do really.
Honestly, yeah, go.
Just being careful would be good.
Yeah, maybe we take a little bit of a slower pace,
Hmm.
just so we can keep them more careful out.
I don't like whatever is happening here in this area anyway. I'm fine with going a little slow and careful.
Can I do a
Yeah.
history check or for
Yeah,
knowing what would happen? Is this a common occurrence? Is this something that's because of the war?
sure. You can make a history check.
History. That is a dirty 20.
Nice.
So historically, there's no real precedent for this. Although you
Great.
can think of. I would need to research it, but for some reason, areas of great blight come to mind. So the Broken Vale Marsh and the Broken Vale Bluffs and Blade Garden were all the site of the bloodiest battle of the Calamity. There are also places like the Misgath Pit, where extra planar evils have attempted to breach into the prime material before. And in instances of those extreme magical forces that exist beyond the lands of Exandria, beyond Wildemount and out into the plains, in instances of strong concentrations of that sort of extraplanar energy, the natural forces instinctually hide, disappear, run, and avoid such corrupting forces at all costs.
I share this information.
10 or 5. Okay, good.
Yeah, I really, really don't like that. Cool.
You guys travel at a snail's pace, cautiously keeping your heads on a swivel. Even those of you that can see in the dark occasionally light fires and torches just to discourage the encroaching black from enveloping you all. Another night of hard travel, and you travel into the night just in the hopes of reaching the village all the sooner. You attempt to rest that night. You all keep watch, but the rest is fitful at best. You all are not terribly exhausted, so you don't worry about recovering abilities. But on a night like tonight, you would have a hard time of it. Night passes into day, and by midday you can see smoke rising on the horizon. As you approach, the images of the smoke seem to be less cooking fire and more smolder. And you see derelict, destroyed village, occupied only days ago, now decrepit, rotten. And that is where we're going to pick up next week.
Ah!
Good
That
game,
was-
babe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Damn,
Really
dude.
good. Really good
Loved
start.
But
Yes.
Cool. So this is the beginning of our adventure here.
Yes.
I hope the travel didn't drag too much, but we got a chance to see some interesting things and meet some interesting people. Travel's going to be a portion of this game, but I am going to look into some other opportunities where we are just sort of skipping parts of it, because a mountain's a mountain, a field's a field, but seeing what's normal and what's not normal.
Well, I also think you
is-
did a good job. You didn't make us do watch every single night. You didn't make us roll for
No.
random encounters every single day on the road. Like, you did a good job of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, of a chance. Like that was the thing. I wanted to see if you guys found somebody like with a boat. Did you find a hunter? Did you find a monster? And
I mean,
took those different roles. One of you
we're
had a
good at
99.
random
So
encounters.
we are good at random encounters. I I had a good night. I hope you guys
Yeah.
enjoyed it. So we're going to be in the wilds for a little bit, and then we're going to get back to society. And I'm hoping we can visit a couple of really interesting places from the book, and I'm excited to share with what I kind of have planned for you guys.
It's gonna be
So
fun.
yeah,
I am
I thought you guys.
excited.
Yeah, I thought you guys were going to go to Asarius. You could have picked up like some of the information about what's been happening down there from the refugees, but you didn't. It's all good. That was the moment. But I also was like, I want to tell you that there's a bunch of soldiers there,
Yeah.
and diverting away from it was absolutely a good idea. Nothing was I didn't know which way you guys were going to go, and that's what I love, is that you guys had the objective and you were going to get there some way.
Yeah.
And at the beginning of the night, you really could have just gone through the mountains and been like, we're going to go in one straight shot. We're not going to stop for anything. Everybody do your bathroom breaks now, and we're just going to go. Right?
We are not turning this car around.
Yeah, but you didn't. You chose to do some other fun things, and it was a really good time. So thank you guys for hanging out with us. We're gonna have another RPG tomorrow. I think it might be Midnight or Dragon Age. It's gonna be one of those two things. Not sure which is gonna happen, and so we will let you know. But we're back at 7:30 with more RPG goodness.
Yeah.
Do we have any other announcements before we say goodnight? I'm seeing the head shake no. So thanks for hanging out, guys. We are going to see you next time. But until then, be cool.
Pew, 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 pew.